Hello and welcome to a very special installment of the Bearded Banter Podcast, the gaming podcast where all of the E3 press conferences for 2019 are officially over and we're here to talk about them. I am your host, Shane the Bearded One. With me, I am joined by my co-hosts, Matt, Legion Rex, Spencer, and Josh. How are we doing today, boys?
I am sweating because I lost my fucking mind around 15 minutes ago.
15 minutes ago. To give context, we just came out of the Nintendo Direct. We just reacted to it live on Twitch. Oh my god.
We just lost our minds.
I think Nintendo stole my virginity because they fucked me really hard.
I haven't been fucked this good in a long time.
I'm checking my pulse right now. I don't think I'm living.
So anyway,
I think my heart is stopped.
So welcome to the E3 edition of Bearded Banter. If you're not familiar with this, we do this every year where we go through all the press conferences shown at E3 and all the announcements therein. We're doing it again this year, but we're doing it a little more streamlined than usual. I'm going to lightning round a lot of this shit so that we're not here for 3 hours. And we only have 5 conferences in relation to 7 or 8 that we usually have because some big hitters decided not to show up this year. So yeah, let's get right into it. I'm going to start from the beginning with Microsoft, go all the way through every conference and every announcement that everyone made, and a request from you guys, we're going to hold our thoughts and opinions until the end of a conference recap. So we're going to go through all the announcements for one conference, and then we're going to talk about it at the end, just so we can save on time.
Yep. Sounds good.
All right. Let's get started. The first conference of the event was on Sunday, Microsoft's Xbox E3 2019 briefing, and just like last year, Xbox brought the heat. So they started the conference off with a new trailer for The Outer Worlds, which is the new game being developed by Obsidian Entertainment. It looks very Fallout New Vegas-esque, and we finally got a release date of October 25th, 2019, so it's coming out in the fall. And it's also coming to Xbox Game Pass, and I hope you enjoy me saying that because I'm going to be saying it a lot. Moving on, the start of this conference went very quickly. Moving on, we got Ninja Theory out on stage, and they talked about their new game, which was unfortunately leaked before the show, but what can you do? Their new game is called Bleeding Edge. It is a 4v4 multiplayer game. It looks very Overwatch-esque, but what makes it stand out from Overwatch is that it has both shooter and melee combat elements, because of course Ninja Theory is an action developer. It looks very cool, I must say, and they announced that the technical alpha for that starts on June 27th, so just in a couple weeks. That is also coming to Game Pass. Moving on, we had a new trailer shown for Ori and the Will of the Wisps. I have nothing to say about this because every time I see this game, I'm more and more astounded by how amazing it looks, just like the first game. But we finally got a release date. Unfortunately, it is not coming out this year. It is coming out early 2020, February 11th. So we have to wait for that a little bit, but the wait will be worth it. And that is also coming to Game Pass. Moving on, we got a new trailer for a Minecraft spin-off called Minecraft Dungeons. It is a very Diablo-like dungeon crawler, 4-player local and online co-op, where you go through Minecraft-inspired dungeons. That is coming out in spring 2020, also coming to Game Pass. And then after 4 games had already been shown, then a wild Phil Spencer appears on stage in all of his glory. Phil Spencer is one of my favorite people in the game industry today. Every time I see him, I just want to clap.
He's got a computer chip in his brain that only activates whenever a fucking Microsoft press conference is about to start. They like turn him on, and then he just kind of like boots up and he walks out on stage.
Yeah, they only bring him out for E3.
Oh please. That man does like 3 lines of coke in the back and fucking runs on stage.
He got to figure out which t-shirt he's going to wear, and then he does the coke off the t-shirt before he puts it on.
Yeah.
But Phil Spencer came out on stage, and he gave your standard speech, Xbox is about bringing gamers together, playing wherever you want, the games that you want to play. And then he said that at this conference they had 60 games to show, 14 of which were Xbox Game Studios games, and 34 of them were coming to Game Pass. He also teased what's coming next for Xbox Game Studios, talked a little bit about Project xCloud, and also said that at this conference they were going to give new information on their brand new console. So once he exited the stage, they went right back to the games. We got a new trailer for Jedi Fallen Order, which we saw a lot of at EA's Play event on Saturday, but they didn't have a conference, so we're not talking about it here. Game looks very good. It looks like a weird mix between Uncharted-style traversal and level design with Souls-esque combat, and actually looks way better than I thought. And that, we got a release date for that coming November 15th, 2019, so it's coming this year. Moving on, we got a very interesting trailer. It was a cinematic trailer for a first-person horror game. At first, I thought it was Outlast, and then next I thought it might have been a Silent Hill 2 remake, because the guy in the trailer looked a lot like James Sunderland. But then the big surprise was that, hey, it's a Blair Witch game. Okay? Out of nowhere, they announced a first-person survival horror Blair Witch game coming August 30th of this year to Game Pass. And honestly, that's one of the best games they showed because it was so out of nowhere. But it looked very good. Moving on. Cyberpunk. So, they showed a couple new trailers for Cyberpunk. We got a new cinematic trailer showing off a scenario with the main character and a couple of dealers. And then at the end of the trailer, they revealed that, surprise bitches, Keanu Reeves is in this game. And then, lo and behold, Keanu Reeves himself arrived from the ether onto the E3 stage. And a roaring ovation washed over the crowd. Like, they went fucking nuts for Keanu. And then he talked a little bit about the game, and then of course that led to the best moment of E3 when he talked about walking through the streets of a future is breathtaking, and then someone in the audience said he was breathtaking, and then he rebutted with, no, you're breathtaking! Legit, best moment of E3. I don't even care about Banjo.
Keanu Reeves is amazing.
Keanu Reeves is a wholesome man, and we are living in the year of Keanu because he's in like every movie this year, and he's also in Cyberpunk. This man he is back. Keanu Reeves is fucking back, and I'm so happy.
Gosh, I love movies. I love making movies, and I love watching them.
Watching movies.
So yeah, he's in Cyberpunk. He did his spiel, and then he pointed us towards another trailer, which gave us a release date. Cyberpunk 2077 is releasing April 16th, 2020. So it's a little ways away, but the wait will absolutely be worth it, because this game looks incredible from all perspectives.
Yes.
Moving on, we got an ID at Xbox title called Spiritfarer, which looked very interesting. It had a hand-drawn animation style. It looked like a sort of Terraria Don't Starve style game where you can craft a town and go out adventuring to look for materials and things like that. That did not get a release date or a release window whatsoever, but it is coming to Game Pass. Then we got probably the biggest disappointment of this conference for me personally, which was Battletoads. And not because the game looked bad or anything, because the game looks great. It has completely hand-drawn graphics, 3-player couch co-op, and it is coming to Game Pass day one. Unfortunately, no release date whatsoever, not even a window, which I thought absolutely this was the one game that was getting a release date, but I guess not. What can you do? But moving on, this game confused the fuck out of me. RPG Time: The Legend of Wright. I have no idea what this game is. Because it has a very unique sketchbook aesthetic. It's kind of like Yoshi's Crafted World, where it has a very crafted-oriented aesthetic to it. However, I have no idea what the fuck this game is, because that trailer was confusing as hell. But it is coming in 2020, I guess. So there's that. Moving on, we had our obligatory ID at Xbox showcase like they have every year. They showed 15, 20-ish games that are all ID at Xbox titles. And they announced that all ID at Xbox titles from here on out are coming to Game Pass day one. So, Game Pass was the real winner of this conference, let's be real.
Yeah.
Which,
it was all about Game Pass.
Yeah, which, speaking of Game Pass, we had the head of Game Pass, Sarah Bond, come out to talk more about Game Pass. She said that Xbox Game Studios titles will launch day one on Game Pass, and that they just added 4 new big games to Game Pass, including Batman Arkham Knight, Metro Exodus, which came out 4 months ago, Hollow Knight, and Borderlands The Handsome Collection. And all of those are already available. If you have Game Pass, you can download them now. And then she announced Xbox Game Pass for PC, which is a PC version of Game Pass where you can download games on PC. I can hear Josh. Thank you. And she said that an open beta for that launched today. So there's a beta going on right now if you want to sign up for that. And the full service will launch sometime later this year. And then she talked about Game Pass Ultimate, which is their new bundle. It bundles Xbox Game Pass, Live Gold, and Game Pass for PC at no additional cost for $15 a month. And right now, get on it now if you haven't already, because right now you can get a special E3 deal, a full Game Pass Ultimate bundle for only $1. And that's what I did. I got a full year for $1, so I fucking broke the bank, my dudes. But yeah, all of that Game Pass stuff was very cool. Moving on, Microsoft Flight Simulator. I can't believe we live in a time where Flight Simulator was one of the biggest surprises at E3 this year. It came out of literally nowhere, to everyone's shock. But they're making a new Flight Simulator, and it is coming to Game Pass. No release date for that. Moving on.
No,
Excuse me, what was that?
Flight Simulator actually has a really surprisingly large fan base.
Yeah. I thought it was just really weird how out of nowhere they just announced a new one for Xbox. Like, you know, it kind of came out of nowhere. But it was honestly one of the most hype reveals, surprisingly.
Yeah.
Moving on, we got a look at Age of Empires 2 Definitive Edition. It is a full remaster of the original game. It will include a new campaign, and it is coming out in fall 2019, and it's coming to Game Pass. So that was very cool. Moving on, we got a weird XCOM-style strategy game talking about beautiful Colorado. And then we got this big fucking burly dude talking about guns and cowboys and shit. And then it was revealed as Wasteland 3, and it is coming to Game Pass sometime next year.
Little did we know that that's actually not Wasteland 3. That's just what Colorado looks like in the winter.
If you've ever been to Colorado, please confirm. But that was cool. Moving on. Phil Spencer teased the future of Xbox Game Studios earlier on, and so the head of Xbox Game Studios, Matt Booty, bringing the booty, came out on stage to talk about their new acquisition. Ladies and gentlemen, it is now official. Double Fine Productions is now an Xbox Game Studio.
Mm-hmm.
Thank God, because now Tim Schafer doesn't have to worry about fucking shopping out all his games to different publishers for them to get made. Now he's got that fucking Xbox cash backing him up.
Yeah.
Then Tim Schafer came out on stage, said that he was very happy to be part of the Xbox family, and he debuted a new trailer for Psychonauts 2, which looks very good. I'm very excited for this game. And then they revealed that Psychonauts 2 is in fact coming to Game Pass at launch, which is interesting because they announced Psychonauts 2 at Sony's conference a couple years ago. But then Tim Schafer confirmed later on that because it was a Kickstarter game, they are going through with releasing all the versions that they promised. So it's coming to all platforms, but after this, all of their games will be Xbox exclusive, which is very cool. I'm glad that Tim Schafer isn't one of these shitty, scummy people who's like, yeah, no, you don't get your game now. Sorry. We got the Xbox cash. You don't matter. But that was very cool. And if it's coming to Game Pass, that means I get to play it, which I'm very excited to play Psychonauts 2.
Finally.
Yeah. Moving on. We got a new Lego Star Wars game, boys.
Yeah.
Lego Star Wars The Skywalker Saga is coming in 2020, and it covers all 9 films. Main, prequel, and sequel trilogy. So
It is not a remaster of Complete Saga. It is a brand new game.
Brand new
by
game
the way.
from the ground up.
Brand new, every level different. It's completely new. So get excited.
So for you Lego fans out there, you have something to look forward to. Moving on, they showed a new trailer for Dragon Ball game Project Z. which we finally saw some gameplay of it. It looks very Xenoverse-esque in terms of combat, but it looks a lot less restrictive than Xenoverse. It looks a lot more open, not only in terms of environmental factors, but in terms of actual combat scenarios. It looked very good. Is covering the entire story of Dragon Ball Z, and it got a new title. It is officially named Dragon Ball Z Kakarot, the action RPG from CyberConnect 2, the developers of the Naruto games, and it is coming in early 2020. So look forward to that.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Then we got one of my favorite games of the show called 12 Minutes, as they touted it, an interactive thriller about a man trapped in a time loop. And they showed a very interesting trailer where a man and his supposed girlfriend, she tells him that he's pregnant, but he already knows this because he's been through this before, and he tries to warn her that a man is coming to hurt them because she apparently murdered her father, and then apparently it's very Groundhog Day-esque, where time repeats itself for these 12 minutes. We didn't see any real gameplay or how the game actually will function, but the premise alone sold me on this, and it looked very, very good. No release date. It's not a Game Studios game, so it's not coming to Game Pass, so we'll have to see more of that in the future. Moving on, we got another ID at Xbox game called Way to the Woods, which reminded me a lot of The Deer God, which I played 4 years ago.
It looks like Ico with Bambi.
Yeah. I don't understand what's with the deer games and being so fucking artsy.
The deer broke into a fucking vending machine. That's all you need to know.
Yeah, the deer stole a bottle of milk from the vending machine. But yeah, it is an adventure-style game where you play as a deer who has some sort of weird supernatural powers. It is coming sometime in 2020 and is coming to Game Pass. And then we got the obligatory Gears 5 segment. We got a new trailer with Kate and all the fractured parts of her psyche. Very cool cinematic trailer. And we also got a release date for Gears 5. It is coming out September 10th of this year. It is coming to Game Pass Day 1, as well as the Ultimate Edition of the game, which means that Game Pass subscribers can play the game 4 days early, which is a very nice incentive to get Game Pass. They also announced that their Versus multiplayer tech test will happen July 17th, and a demo of their new Horde mode will take place at Gamescom. And then they announced a new multiplayer co-op mode called Gears 5 Escape, where you play as a 3-player squad. You infiltrate a hive, place a bomb, and escape before the bomb goes off. So it's a class-type 3-player co-op mode. It looks like all the characters have unique abilities. You can build your own hives and send them to friends for them to play, which is very cool. And they said, weird fucking announcement. If you pre-order or play on Game Pass before September 16th, you get the Terminator Dark Fate character pack where you can play as the Terminator in Gears of War.
This is not the only Terminator thing at this E3, by the way.
Who would have thought there was more than one Terminator announcement?
Who knew that Terminator is actually making a comeback?
All I'm saying is that James Cameron at one point probably fucking slipped like $20 into Phil Spencer's pocket and was like, "Hey, you know, you got that Gears of War coming out? Mm-hmm. Would be mighty interesting if Terminator was in there."
Hey, you know, my Avatar movie got delayed again. I got nothing else to do, so like,
here's Terminator.
Here, just put this in here, just please. So yeah, Gears 5 looks awesome. We saw plenty of gameplay last year. I just want to play it at this point. Moving on, they announced a new series of Xbox Elite controllers with a bunch of new additions. It has adjustable tension joysticks, new reworked bumpers and triggers, new grips, changeable thumbsticks, a new button that changes custom profiles. So you can save presets for your profiles and then switch between them on the fly. It has Bluetooth connectivity, and it has a rechargeable battery. No price point, no release date. It's just coming soon. Cool if you're into that. Next, we got a new trailer for Dying Light 2, which showed our protagonist, who is apparently infected. Nothing else. We got a short trailer for that at Square's conference too, but here we just got a cinematic trailer with a release window of spring 2020. So look forward to that. And then one of the weirdest fucking announcements of all of E3. They had their obligatory Forza section, but it wasn't what we were fucking expecting, because Forza Horizon 4 Lego Speed Champions expansion is a thing, and you can play Lego Forza. Because why not? Why not?
You know what? I'm down. I'm
fucking. They brought fucking awesome, dude.
I mean, everything is awesome.
Yes, everything is cool when you're part of a team.
Kill yourself.
I will after this. But yeah, they announced the Lego Speed Champions expansion. Lego cars, Lego people, Lego environments. You can drive Lego cars in the real world and vice versa. And all of this is coming out on June 13th, so coming out on Thursday, very soon. And then, of course, they had to bring out a car, but it wasn't what we were expecting, because the car was made out of Legos, which ended up being just as expensive as getting a real-ass fancy car out there, because they had to build it out of Legos.
And apparently it actually works, too.
Yeah, like, that's the scary part.
It's a working car made out of Lego.
This was fucking weird, dude. But moving on. We finally got a look at that Gears Funko Pop game. It's standard mobile game fare. Looks like a tower defense strategy type of game.
Listen, I'm not talking about it. That
I know.
game doesn't exist.
I know. I just had to mention it because they showed it. It looks very generic mobile game. No release date, no window. There's a beta coming soon, but they didn't announce when. So, yay. Moving on. We have a new story expansion coming for State of Decay 2 called State of Decay 2 Heartland. The trailer was very cinematic focused, and there's two lead characters. It focused more on the parallel between the characters. That was the kind of tone that they set here. There's 2 different paths, new story opportunities, new weapons, new infected, all that stuff. Available now on Game Pass, so you can go download and play it now if you so desire. And then this next announcement got all of the weebs in the back fucking going wild, because they announced that Phantasy Star Online 2 is coming to Xbox One.
Yeah!
It will have cross-play support with PC, all content will be included, and it is free to play. And it is coming in spring 2020. So that got all the weebs fucking wetting their britches, I can tell you that. Moving on, this was a weird one, because I had never heard of this game before this announcement. But Phil Spencer went out into the audience and he said, "We're bringing a legendary PC game to Xbox One for the first time on console, basically created the PC infrastructure. Here's the game." And it is called Crossfire X, which is apparently a game in a series that has only been in the Chinese markets up until now. But it's apparently very, very popular in China. So
it's so popular in Asia, it's made $150 billion since it came out. Mm-hmm. And it's actually the reason why Call of Duty went online multiplayer was this game. Was to compete with it. And it still hasn't beaten it, so there's that.
That's interesting. But yeah, Phil Spencer said this is the first time it's been on console. It is a timed exclusive for Xbox One. It is coming to Game Pass sometime in 2020. So we'll see more of that next year. Moving on, this announcement is for Josh. We got a new Tales game, Tales of Arise, which, I'll be honest, not a Tales guy. But this game might change that, because this looks fucking awesome.
It looks really good.
It looks fucking gorgeous.
It looks fucking incredible.
It looks really good.
Yeah, they showed a trailer showing off some gameplay. It looks very pretty, very fun. Coming sometime in 2020. So there's that. Look forward to that, Josh.
I honestly can't wait.
And then we got a new trailer for Borderlands 3, showing off the new characters and different classes. And then we got the surprise announcement that in 2019, there is new Borderlands 2 DLC. They announced Commander Lilith and the Fight for Sanctuary, which is a free content update for Borderlands 2. You can download it right now for the Handsome Collection. It's apparently supposed to bridge the gap between Borderlands 2 and 3 to get players ready for 3 when it comes out September 13th.
Actually, I have a friend who played it, and he said it was kind of just shit.
Oh.
I mean, what do you expect at this point? Like, the game's 7 years old, so are they really going to put their all into it when they have a new game coming out? It's probably just going to be a
like you said, the only reason why I did it is to just bridge into Borderlands 3.
Yeah, bridge the gap.
Yeah.
Moving on, we got the biggest leak of all leaks, Elden Ring, which was unfortunately leaked before the conference. This was the game that has been speculated for months at this point, the collab between Hidetaka Miyazaki of From Software and George R.R. Martin of Game of Thrones fame. They showed a cinematic trailer. Looks like standard From Software cryptic bullshit. We got no more details, no gameplay, no release window, nothing. It's just this game is happening. So look forward to that.
Turns out that that this is actually the rumored sixth Game of Thrones book. He turned it into a video game.
See, that's one rumor, Matt. The other rumor is that this is actually the 9th season of the Game of Thrones.
Oh yeah, it's the ninth season of Game of Thrones, funded by the fans via their petitions that they kept posting.
It's the 9th season of Game of Thrones made completely interactive, so you fucking write the story, you pretentious cunts.
It is just 60 hours of Emilia Clarke sitting down and telling us that season 8 will be the best season ever.
Anyway,
I love her.
Moving on. After that, Phil Spencer came back on stage and talked briefly about Project xCloud, which is their cloud streaming getup. Showed off a new demo for it. And then he announced that they plan to introduce console streaming in October, which will turn your Xbox into an xCloud server in order to stream games off of. So you can basically turn your Xbox One into a mobile hotspot, which is interesting. And then he went right into the details of the new console. So, much like they did with Project Scorpio back before the Xbox One X was a thing, they showed a developer diary of all these people who are working on the system and games for it, talking about how powerful it is. Here are some of the details we got. It has a custom-designed processor from AMD. It is 4 times more powerful than the current Xbox One X. It can support up to 120 frames per second with 8K resolutions and ray tracing. It has a custom-built SSD, which is actually being used as virtual RAM, so that everything runs faster, which they said has shown them performance times 40 times better performance over the current generation. So they basically said with this that load times are basically non-existent at this point. They're getting rid of load times entirely because this thing runs so fast. And then they revealed the name. So far, it is called Project Scarlett. That will change next year when they fully reveal it. But
not final name, though.
But it is coming in holiday 2020. Okay, go ahead briefly. Don't waste our time here.
I'd like to say one thing. Well, it can do 8K. Most likely what they mean is since it has an HDMI 2.1, it can mostly just probably do 8K video. I doubt it'd be able to run 8K games.
Yeah. Well, they came out later and said that they're trying to hit native 4K 60 frames locked at base minimum. So that's interesting. Yeah. And they also said that they have plans to try and make everything backwards compatible with it. Every single Xbox One game and all the current backwards compatible games for 360 and the original Xbox. They said it's all going to be backwards compatible.
Thank fuck.
So, get wrecked, Sony. They're fucking shitting all over you at this point.
For not showing up.
Yeah. And then to transition right from the Project Scarlett stuff, they said that Halo Infinite will be a launch title coming in holiday 2020. They showed us a cinematic trailer with a random UNSC soldier who's stranded in space. Who finds Master Chief just floating through the void of space for some reason.
In his Halo 3 armor?
Like, okay, we knew going into this that Halo Infinite is being touted as a spiritual reboot for the series. It is not a canonical reboot because it's taking place directly after Halo 5, but in terms of overall spirit and tone, it's a reboot. It's going back to basics in terms of how the game feels.
And I can tell it's a sequel to 5 because it is story-wise, this is very clearly a sequel to 5. They're continuing the story here. But I don't know. When I saw Master Chief floating in space with the Halo 3 armor, I thought to myself,
how did he get there?
No, one, and also, are they just retconning 4 and 5? Like, do they just not exist anymore?
Yeah, because he has his classic armor from Halo 2 and 3. So spiritual reboot goes further than we thought, because he's back to his classic design, which I actually kind of popped for, not gonna lie.
Yeah.
But yeah, so this guy brings Chief into his ship, and then it turns out they're at one of the destroyed Halo rings. So that's interesting.
Probably the one Cortana booted up at the end of 5.
Yeah. And they said it is coming out holiday 2020 is the flagship game for the Scarlett, but I assume it's also coming to the Xbox One and One X and all that stuff.
Yeah.
And that was it. That was the Microsoft conference. They ended with Halo.
Good way to end.
Yeah, good way to end. They didn't show any gameplay, but what they showed looked fucking great. So that was the Xbox conference. So let's briefly give our thoughts and opinions on it, one at a time here. Matt, what did you think of the Xbox 2019 E3 briefing?
Do you want me to give like in terms of games? Do you want me to give top 3 or something or whatever?
I don't think we have time for that.
Oh fuck. Okay. I liked it overall. It was pretty good. No, it was really good. Not enough. I feel like they should have showed more gameplay of things, but as it stands, they had a very wide variety of games they wanted to show off, and I pretty much liked pretty much everything they showed. Like the entire time, I was pretty much like, okay, all right. The only game that I really couldn't give the only game that I really was like, I don't care about this was the fucking Microsoft Flight Simulator. Because I don't care. But other than that, I was pretty much engaged the whole way through, and I like to applaud Microsoft for always having a wide variety of games.
Yeah,
at their press conferences, they don't just show like shooters or like stuff like that. They show like a mix. They show games of all kinds, of all different art styles, all different genres. And they mix it up. They never they always mix it up, and there's a bunch of really cool stuff that they always show in there. And like a lot of I found some of the best stuff they showed this time were a lot of like the new stuff that they showed off. Yeah. Like a lot of this looked really, really cool. So yeah, overall really liked it. Really enjoyed Microsoft's.
I am back.
Okay, Spencer, good timing. Very briefly, what did you think of the Xbox E3 briefing?
I thought it was really good. I didn't think it was as good as last year's.
I have to agree with you there. I
agree on that too.
And it's the same reason why I didn't like the conference when the Xbox 360 was released originally, because as a consumer, okay, so as we are all consumers of video games, we buy product, we don't care, there are very few of us that care about a businessman in a suit telling us about how the flux capacitor goes to 427 frames and we can get 16K onto our solid state drive and there's no load times. Like, aside from Josh, I can tell you honestly, I don't give a shit. As long as my console plays the video game that I buy, we're good. So, when you spend all that time on Scarlett, don't even give us an actual name. It feels like you just kind of pulled it out there. Also, xCloud is a stupid title, by the way. xCloud is a dumb name.
It's lowercase x, uppercase C, cloud.
C, cloud. Like, you can't just put X in front of everything, Xbox.
Well, they have, and they will continue to do.
You already have the Xbone. The Xbone sad. But the games they showed really excited me. I'm on your side. 12 minutes looks fucking awesome.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that might be one of the best of shows for Microsoft.
And I did a little research on it because the guy, Luis Antonio, seemed really familiar to me. Like I'd heard that name before. And turns out that he worked for Ubisoft and Rockstar before going indie.
Yeah, that makes sense.
And this game is actually like you play out the same 12 minutes over and over again.
Yep.
The demo was at PAX. One person beat the demo. Sorry, nobody beat the demo, but the developers kind of shoveled it out. Like he shoveled it out. Two things. One, the fastest time it's taken to be beaten so far is 10 hours. So it's a pretty good sized game. Two, Luis has gone on record saying this is heavily influenced by The Shining.
All right.
So take it that what you will. A lot of like the more indie titles that Xbox showed got me really excited because they're either like really cute or they're just fun. And overall, a lot of the games were good, but it just kind of got bogged down by Phil Spencer talking about Game Pass, and then that woman talking about whatever she was talking about. I think also Game Pass.
Game Pass.
So like that kind of bogged it down, but overall, it was a really good conference.
Josh, very briefly, what do you think? What did you think of the Xbox show?
Okay, this will be brief. I think Xbox and Microsoft, as always, they do a great job. They know what the people want, and they almost always do deliver. Phil Spencer is a great person. I, of course, was very happy to see the new console, and what they were talking about it is very impressive to me. The new games, Tales of Arise, had me losing my fucking shit.
Of course.
I'm so happy to see a new Tales game. Halo Infinite looks fucking beautiful.
Yeah.
Absolutely gorgeous. All the new games coming out, by the way, I should mention, look absolutely beautiful. And all around, I just think it was a really good conference.
All right, short, sweet, and to the point. In terms of my thoughts, I loved this conference. I think they knocked it out of the park once again this year. But I do agree with Spencer that I think last year's was just a bit better. Mainly because last year's conference was such a landmark show for them after a string of really poor conferences that they set the bar that high last year. And honestly, this year just felt like more of the same. Like they had a lot of games to show and they didn't waste any time, but it didn't have that same landmark feeling as last year. And even though I don't agree with you on things like the blabbing about the consoles and Game Pass stuff, because I actually find that stuff interesting, I can see how some people would be turned off by that. But overall, they showed a lot of great games. Everything looks at least interesting. Like, there's some games that they showed that I don't really care about, but everything at least looked cool, which you can't say for a lot of other people.
Fucking Blair Witch is relevant now for the first time.
Blair Witch, came out of nowhere. One of the biggest surprises.
Blair
Witch,
in voice.
Me and Matt are in voice chat, and we're like, okay, this could be something, blah, blah, blah. And then we see the fucking tree man, standing in the corner, and me and Matt are like, that's Blair Witch!
Yeah,
you gotta...
who knew that making an Outlast-style game out of Blair Witch could be such a great idea?
Yeah.
Really cool. And I want to talk 1 second about that RPG time game, The Legend of Wright.
What the fuck is that game?
It's a RPG game that's highly a storybook, I think.
That game made me fucking scream in our voice chat because it was so pure and honest and fun looking. It looks like when you were bored in grade 7 and 8 and you would just doodle in your notebook and just kind of play out your own adventures. And the fact that it brings things from real life, how your special attacks are a flip book, or how you can pull out that cool cardboard gun and shoot out parts of the paper. It was this really interesting kind of take on the RPG. and I was really blown away by that. And Spiritfarer is going to make me cry, so I'm pretty sure about that.
All right, so
yes.
that was the Xbox conference. Really quickly before we move on, final scores.
I would like to give this a Ruby out of Scarlett.
Okay. Okay.
As you know, with E3, I don't give actual scores; I give joke scores. So
I'm giving this a 9 out of 10 because there were a couple hiccups that kept it from being perfect, but it was a very, very solid showing.
Keanu Reeves was the star of the entire.
Keanu Reeves was the best part of E3.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So let's move on to Bethesda, aka Borefest 2019.
Hey.
Oh
Thanks,
boy.
Shane.
There's more than you and Matt on this podcast.
Oh.
Don't tell me that you actually like this.
You talked about the rating from Microsoft.
Talk about the rating.
Oh, sorry.
You skipped me and Josh.
None of you fucking said anything, so...
Well, because we were waiting our turn.
Well, fucking
Like,
just
good
say
guess.
it! I didn't say
Fine.
names, I just said to fucking talk.
Fucking 8.5 out of 10.
Okay, thank you.
A solid
Because-
9 out of 10.
Okay,
Because it
thank
was
you.
okay, but every time they brought up the business shit, it grinded to a halt.
Okay,
But it was really good.
that's all you had to say. Just fucking
Well-
blurt out your rating when I say final score, okay?
Listen,
I love
happy
you.
Pride Month.
Happy Pride Month.
Happy Pride Month.
All right, let's move on to Bethesda, aka Snorefest 2K19.
Yeah.
So, 15 minutes into the conference, all they've shown are vignettes, and people have been out talking about nothing. And then Todd Howard came out and made some jokes about Fallout 76, but didn't actually apologize for it, and then tried to brush it off later on, but we'll get to that. The first game they showed was Elder Scrolls Blades, which is the Elder Scrolls mobile game. They said that a big new update is coming, including new arenas, jobs, and a new dragon quest line. It is available for free now. You can download it now. They also said that later down the line there will be a PvP update for the game. So, PvP is coming to Blades. They also said that it is coming to Nintendo Switch. It is being ported to Nintendo Switch in fall 2019. It will be absolutely free to play. And they said that it will support cross-play and progression with mobile. So, players on phone and Switch can play together, and if you make progress on one, you can carry it over to the other version. Pretty cool. Wish I cared about Blades, though.
Yeah. That's actually the crossplay between mobile and Switch is actually kind of cool.
Yeah. And then they got into the Fallout 76 stuff.
Yeah.
They said that they are planning on a new update called the Wastelanders Update. It will include a new quest line, weapons, characters, and for the first time in Fallout 76, which I don't understand why it wasn't in the game to begin with, human NPCs and dialogue trees. Yay!
Took them long enough.
This is all coming out in fall 2019, and it will be completely free to download. They also said that Fallout 76 for this week is free to play. So from June 10th to 17th, you can play Fallout 76 for free. If you want to play it at this point, I don't know why you would, but
makes sense for. But they always have at least one game available to play for free during their after their conferences.
So let's make it the shittiest game.
yeah. And then they announced a new game mode called Nuclear Winter, which Battle Royale, because of course.
Battle Royale Fallout.
Here's the thing, the mode actually sounds cool. I just wish it was in a different game, because I might actually play it.
Who asked for this?
It is a fight to the death over control of Vault 51. It will have 52 players, and there was apparently a sneak peek that started on the 10th. I think they released a beta for the new mode with the free week trial. So I guess you can try it now if you so desire. And then they completely moved on from Fallout 76, so they didn't apologize for the train wreck that was that game at all. They were just like, hey, we know you guys didn't like this game, but here's some free stuff to make up for it, right?
I'm surprised they even brought it up at all, to be completely honest. I thought they were going to take the EA route and just forget it ever happened, to be completely honest with you. But no, they didn't, which I'm like, all right.
Cool.
Weird.
I kind of wanted Todd Howard to like read those fucking essays that they had people type out about how cheating is bad.
I think they
I
should.
thought you were going to say I want Todd Howard to burst into flames.
I mean, that too.
If they got the internet historian to do the conference, that would be pretty cool.
Hey,
I agree.
all I'm saying is this. Fallout 76 might be an absolute dumpster fire, but those, 4 people in the front row were fucking hyped that entire conference.
We'll talk about that later.
Yeah, we'll talk about that, because even Todd Howard was pissed off at them, apparently, so let's get...
Which I'm convinced that Bethesda paid them to be excited, like they were fucking plants, but they went a little too hard.
Yeah.
Todd Howard was apparently really mad at the crowd.
Of course he was.
I think he just perpetually... I think Todd Howard is just perpetually salty anyways.
Todd...
He looks like a guy... He looks like a man who... looks at
children,
flowers, children, and butterflies, and just scowls. I'm pretty
Todd Howard
sure...
is perpetually pissed at the world. But let's move on. We got our first look at Ghostwire Tokyo, which is the new game from Tango Gameworks, the developers of The Evil Within. It is an action-adventure game where you fight supernatural evil in Tokyo. And I wrote in my notes that it's spooky.
The poor dog.
Yeah, the poor dog without his owner. The story of the game revolves around a weird phenomenon happening in Tokyo where people are up and vanishing out of thin air, and you have to find out why. They showed a cinematic trailer that looked very Evil Within-esque, but it was a little more avant-garde than Evil Within, a little more contemporary, I guess. No release window, nothing of the sort, just announcement, trailer, here you go. Looked very cool, and honestly, it was one of the 2 games they showed that I actually gave a shit about.
And it's had the star of the Bethesda show, which was what's her name?
Ikumi Nakamura.
Ikumi Nakamura.
Tiny, AKA, adorable Japanese lady.
AKA your new waifu.
Yes.
Your new game waifu.
She had the fucking moves too,
who is Shinji Mikami's protege, and basically this is her first game that she's directing.
Yeah.
So
we saw a live passing of the torch onto
and she was adorable, and I love her.
I love her. She had a cool dance, and
she had the dance moves. She fucking pulled a strut. It was great.
You can tell that this was her first time on stage because she looked really happy.
Yeah. But let's move on to something that's not as happy. The Elder Scrolls Online. Which, I wrote in my notes, it was a quote that the dude who was presenting said right off the bat. He's like, yes, Elder Scrolls Online has dragons. And then the 8 people in the front row went fucking ballistic. Which you could tell, those people they literally cheered like fucking banshees for everything he did. He didn't even say anything and they went crazy. And you could tell it was throwing him off his game because he was like flubbing his lines all over the place. Which, hey, if you're not plants, be fucking respectful and shut the fuck up when people are presenting. God damn it.
But if you are plants, then you got your fucking money's worth.
Yeah. You got that good Bethesda money. But anyway, Elder Scrolls Online. I put in my notes, these people are way too excited for Elder Scrolls Online. They showed a new trailer for their Elsewhere expansion that literally just came out, so I don't understand why they did that.
Launch trailer.
But they announced a couple new expansions. They announced Dragonhold, which will have more info at QuakeCon in August, and a dungeon-style DLC called Scalebreaker that is also coming in August, which dudes in the front row went fucking ballistic when he said scale and not breaker. They went like, yeah!
They must have thought it was like Argonia or something like that. That's my guess.
And then he said that there are several other projects being worked on at ZeniMax Studios, the developers of Elder Scrolls Online, including this one, which is a new Commander Keen game, which I had no idea what the fuck Commander Keen was before this conference, but apparently it's a very old PC game from the 90s.
Yeah, it was fucking id Software. Commander Keen's a classic, 1990, dude.
Yeah, I had no idea what it was, but apparently they're rebooting it, but it's a mobile game. So
it looks aight. It looks aight. It looks like in terms of mobile stuff, it actually looks pretty decent. Not gonna lie. It looks like if you, because like I know I can tell a good mobile game because I've played enough of them. I can tell a good mobile game from the bad ones, and this looks pretty good. So
it has a Saturday morning cartoon aesthetic. It's a revival of an old id Software property from the 90s. It looked like a kind of tower defense combat style game. I'm not exactly sure what kind of game it is. But they said it is coming in summer 2019 for iOS and Android, so
yeah.
Cool. And then they had a trailer for another mobile game, the Elder Scrolls Legends, their mobile card game. They said that the Moons of Elsewhere expansion is coming June 27th.
No, they're really pushing Elsewhere, which is the Khajiit world.
Yeah.
They're really pushing that, which is odd because Elder Scrolls 6 is not about that, but I don't know.
Maybe boy.
Maybe it's just cross things.
Next, they had more info on Rage 2. They have a new update coming out this week, which includes cheat codes, a pilotable mech, and a new armadillo motorcycle. They also announced Rise of the Ghost expansion, which will have new enemies, cheats, vehicles, new story missions, game modes, weapons, areas, etc. It's a full expansion for Rage 2, which every time I see this game, it looks fucking awesome. So
if you like Rage, you'll like Rage 2. That's pretty much the... That's exactly. If you don't like Rage, you won't like Rage 2. If you like Rage, you'll like Rage 2.
Yeah,
that's pretty much the gist of it.
Moving on, they moved on to Wolfenstein. They talked more about Wolfenstein Cyberpilot, which they announced last year. It is a VR game where you control a Nazi mech shooting other Nazi mechs. Cool.
Do you want to play as a mech? Do you want to play as a Nazi mech? No. Well, of course you don't.
Too bad.
Nazi.
You're doing it anyway.
You're doing it anyways, but at least it's being piloted by a good guy, so it's okay.
That will be available sometime in July. And then they talked briefly about Wolfenstein Youngblood, the standalone expansion that follows BJ Blazkowicz's two twin daughters. The entire game is drop-in, drop-out co-op for 2 players, and it will be available on July 26th. But this is all information that we already knew, so they were just reiterating. Moving on. Great. We got a new game from Arcane Studios, the developers of Dishonored and the new Prey. It is called Deathloop, and I think Matt will laugh at this. After I saw that trailer, it had a very Mr. and Mrs. Smith style to it.
It really does.
Like, it feels a lot like Mr. and Mrs. Smith because it is about...
Speaking of which, I like that movie.
Because it is about 2 characters, one male, one female, who are constantly trying to kill each other. They are both highly skilled assassins in a battle to the death, and every time one of them dies, time resets. So, very interesting concept.
I have a question, and I don't know if it's because I can't find any info on it. Was the guy Idris Elba?
I think he was.
He looks exactly and sounded
exactly like Idris Elba.
If it's not Idris Elba, they definitely based him off of.
Because as someone who has a massive man crush on Idris Elba, I can tell when I see Idris Elba, that looked like Idris Elba. And now if it isn't, then obviously someone on the dev team was like, maybe Idris Elba should be James Bond, and then they make that. So,
but yeah, it looks very cool. We didn't see any gameplay; it was just a cinematic trailer. But the concept is interesting enough to get me excited. And it's fucking Arcane, so it's gonna be quality. Moving on, everyone's jumping on the cloud bandwagon because Bethesda announced Orion, which, from what they described it as, it seems like a hub-style system for stabilizing different cloud-based services like Stadia and xCloud. So it's
this actually looks... Yeah.
It's kind of like a PC launcher for cloud services, and they said that using Orion will stream games over cloud using less bandwidth and at faster speeds. And to demo this, they had a girl come out playing Doom 2016 on her iPhone at 60 frames.
This honestly looks pretty impressive. Not gonna lie. It actually looks really cool.
Works, sure.
If it works. Usually, I'm gonna imagine it works, because I'm gonna imagine it works. At least, maybe not to the extent they showed on stage, because marketing. But
slice, my friend.
But I like this idea. I like this idea a lot. I think this is this was ironically, this was probably one of the, when I saw this, I'm like, all right, Bethesda, I'm down for this. I'm really down for this.
Yeah. If it works, sure, it'll be impressive. But Bethesda has a track record of things not working, so we'll just have to wait and see.
Yeah, I'll wait.
And they announced that Doom 2016 will be available for free on Orion, so you can play it for free on there. Speaking of, great transition right into the only thing I care about in this fucking conference, Doom Eternal. Finally. So we got a new trailer, we got a gameplay demo, and the gameplay I saw looked very good, but there's some things I jotted down here. It looks a lot more arcadey in its design because there's a ton more power-ups in the environment than there used to be in Doom 2016. So they're really going into the classic Doom feel with this one. They showed off new things that the Doomslayer can do, such as wall climbing, new weapons that he has, new enemy types, etc. And then some people came out on stage and talked for a bit, and then we got an extended gameplay demo, which showed us even more gameplay. Just give me this game now. This game looks fucking great.
Oh my god. It looks like Doom on steroids.
Yeah. And then we got finally a release date. It is coming out November 22nd, 2019, so it is coming out this year.
Yes.
Yay! Finally! So, they also announced the Collector's Edition, which includes a wearable Doom Guy helmet, which they had a plant in the audience wearing the helmet, just sitting there. And everyone was like, yeah!
That man must have gotten a lot of pussy after that, though, because he's wearing the fucking helmet.
He made all the ladies wet. But yeah, that was a thing. And then to close out the show, they announced their new multiplayer mode called Battle Mode, which they described as a first-person fighter, which is an interesting way to go about it. But it is a 2v1 mode where 2 players control demons and 1 controls the Doomslayer, and the objective is for the demons to take out the Doomslayer. And they said more details about this will be shown at QuakeCon. Also at QuakeCon will be more details about DoomCon, which I guess they're starting a Doom convention, which is interesting.
It's not a con. It's like it's going to be a section of QuakeCon called DoomCon. It's like
it's like a subsidiary of QuakeCon.
Like you go to QuakeCon and then there's like a massive booth called DoomCon.
So it's a fucking Doom booth at QuakeCon.
Yeah,
that's all they had to say.
It's a Doom. It's not this. Okay, it's big. It's bigger than an actual booth because it's multiple. It's like a large chunk of the conference. So they can't say it's a booth because it's like more than one booth, but it's pretty much just not it's basically like 3/4 QuakeCon, 1/4 DoomCon, pretty much.
All right. And that was the Bethesda conference. After the DoomCon thing, they ended it. Absolutely no word on Starfield or Elder Scrolls 6 whatsoever.
Starfield's probably not till next year anyway. Yeah. They don't like when it comes to Bethesda, they don't like to reveal stuff that's not coming out this particular year in their conferences.
Yet
the fact that they did with Elder Scrolls
last year.
Yeah, that's rare for them. The fact that they did that last year felt like fan service, to be completely honest. It felt like kind of like they didn't have anything to show that year, so they just revealed those.
Anyway, so yeah, that was the Bethesda conference. Let's go real brief, because I feel it's going to be pretty brief. Matt, what did you think of Bethesda's conference this year?
This was the mixed bag that I expected it to be from the beginning. This was a kind of a mess. Not terrible. It wasn't terrible. It was the worst Bethesda conference was that fucking one they did. I think it was like second one they did when it was just like the fucking like the Fallout like fucking video, whatever it was. That was garbage. Mm-hmm. But this is far better than that. Like far better. It was mostly just the problem with it was just unfocused. I felt it was very unfocused, very all over the place. The crowd did no favors for that. I felt like if they had actually shut up, it would have been a lot better of a conference, actually, because then people would have been able to get out their speeches easier. Mm-hmm. So even the things that I didn't care about, I kind of wanted to hear what they had to say because, it's a conference. I want to hear what they have to say, and they wouldn't be able to get them out. Other than that, though, they did show some good stuff, like Ghostwire, Deathloop, Wolfenstein, Doom Eternal. So there's good stuff there. It was just kind of just presentation-wise, kind of a mess.
Yeah.
So the mixed bag, I completely expected it to be. And I suspect next year's will probably be better, more than likely. So I'll just wait till next year's. So
Final
that's
score?
what I have to say about that. I give this an Orion out of meh.
Thank you for that. Spencer,
Yes.
what did you think of Bethesda's conference?
Here's what I thought of Bethesda's conference. About halfway through, I left to go to a bar. And that basically explains my opinion on Bethesda and their conference. I felt that Todd Howard going on stage and being like, "We're gonna do Fallout 76." Oops. I guess it wasn't that good. We got some constructive feedback. Like, fuck you, Todd.
He made a joke of it. Like,
He made a joke. You don't get to make a joke when you're fucking banning people because you forgot to put the dev room not in your game.
I feel like that was like, I feel like Todd Howard went up to the PR person and was like, "Well, what do I do?" And the PR person,
Make
The
a
PR
joke,
person
Todd.
was-
That's what you're good at.
no, PR person's like, just make a joke about it. Just make a joke about it. Just make a joke about it. Like, and make it lighthearted. That'll be fine. Just do that. It felt like It felt like Todd got told by the PR guy.
It was such a ham-fisted and honestly kind of insulting, like, opening speech by Todd Howard. Like, it was. I don't even play Fallout 76, and I felt insulted.
same.
Deathloop looks dope.
Mhm.
It looks really fucking cool. I really like Rage. I've always liked Rage, and Rage 2 is really good, but it's less Mad Max and more like Fury Road, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
It's more dumb. Tango Gameworks, Shinji Mikami's finally able to make something that isn't, a Resident Evil ripoff. And we have our new waifu, who she actually has worked at Capcom for quite some time. She did art for Bayonetta, and
Yep.
she did art for Okami.
Yep.
And she was the game director for the first Evil Within. So, good for her. Aside from that, it was just boring, and I don't give a shit about really any of the Elder Scrolls stuff that they announced.
Sure, you and me both.
Honestly, why I never expected it. I would have been more interested in Elder Scrolls 6, to be completely honest with you, because that at least I would have given a shit about. Like,
and no offense to people who play ESO and enjoy ESO, but ESO to me is like, it was DOA, and they didn't do anything like they did with FF14. They just kind of like silently just kept doing stuff. It's like, you can't do that. But
the people who
aside
play
from
that
that-
game are fucking devoted to it.
yeah, they're devoted.
yeah,
And-
because I've seen stuff from it now, and it looks pretty good actually. So like, I can imagine it's probably pretty good now. So like,
But between that, like, me only caring about like 2 games, because I don't give a shit about the cloud. I've never given a shit about the cloud.
Nope.
Okay? Like, it just seems like consoles just saw Stadia, and they're just like, oh, we can do that. Call it the xCloud. But yeah, between all that and those fucking dickheads in the front row who were funny at first but got old very quickly.
yeah.
And if they were plants, then they
Get
were taking
better
the
plants.
piss. Yeah, get better plants. They were taking the piss and you paid them for nothing. If they're not plants, then they should be banned from all future E3s.
Because
And I'm being completely serious. Which is why I give this conference a 6 out of 10.
Ooh,
I thought you were going to give it a
generous.
bar out of 10 because you went to a bar.
What is bar? How many letters are in bar? 3.
Three.
How many letters are in 6? 3. There
One.
you go. Take the 3.
Oh wow, one.
One.
All right, Shane.
So, what I thought of Bethesda. Ooh, boy. Yeah, I don't care. Between not apologizing for the disaster that was Fallout 76, focusing on so many games that are either already out or that no one cares about, and showing us maybe 2 or 3 really good-looking things in the span of an hour and 20 minutes, which they took to talk about 11 things, this conference was just boring schlock and I couldn't care less. At least until Doom showed up, which almost made this conference worth it, until I realized that I had to go through an hour of the most boring goddamn shit to get to it. And I was like, yeah, not even Doom can save this. No mention of Starfield or Elder Scrolls 6 whatsoever, which, again, most of us didn't expect, but it would have been nice. Yeah, there was just nothing here. The only thing I cared about in the end was Doom, Deathloop, and Ghostwire. And 2 out of the 3 of those we didn't even see gameplay for. So, honestly, I couldn't care less about this conference. And that's why I'm giving it a not-so-generous score as Spencer's 6 out of 10. I'm going a 5 out of 10. Because I've seen worse, but this wasn't great at all. And Josh, before he left, sent me his thoughts. He basically feels the same way about me. They wasted a bunch of time for no reason and didn't show anything cool until the end. He also gives it a 5 out of 10 because he momentarily had to leave to go pick up his mum.
Yeah, which is funny that Bethesda is probably what I think the weakest conference of the entire E3, but also had probably a top 3 game of E3 in Doom Eternal. Which I find.
Doom is absolutely top 3 game of the show for me, and again, it wasn't worth an hour to get to it, but goddamn, that game looks so fucking good.
They should have started with Doom. I feel really like that would have been oof.
But anyway, let's move on to the next conference. 3 out of 5. Moving on to Ubisoft, which took place yesterday. They started off the show with the Assassin's Creed Symphony, just playing some AC music to a montage of the different games. They announced that a tour for the Symphony is starting on June 29th. Cool. They do good music and great performances. So
yeah, that orchestra that reminded me that Assassin's Creed music's actually really good.
Yeah.
So like that. Mm-hmm. I went, and then after that conference, I actually went on YouTube and looked up the theme for Assassin's Creed 2, which is some dope-ass music, by the way, so.
But moving on, after they had their opening performance, they went right into a new game, which we had never seen before, but unfortunately it was leaked. They finally revealed Watch Dogs 3, titled Watch Dogs Legion. So we got a reveal trailer for that. It's now set in a futuristic London. And we got a full gameplay demo, which showed various sections of the game. There's a lot more hand-to-hand combat in this game than previous ones. And there's a lot of different moves and abilities that you can do. The guy, Ian, he went invisible. In one of those fucking shots, he just straight up went invisible, and he was like, "Bye, bitches." And then they announced that if you die in this game, that character is permanently dead. Hello, Josh.
Hello, Josh.
Wait, really?
We
just
started Ubisoft.
Oh yeah.
Oh, you mean who?
Because I didn't get to see this.
Okay,
you're telling me that it has like
permadeath.
It has permadeath.
Permadeath?
Yeah.
The gimmick of Legion.
Everyone shut up. I'm explaining the goddamn games. Mm-hmm. Just let me talk, and you can chime in at the end. Mm-hmm. So anyway, Watch Dogs Legion, permadeath. If you die, that character is dead for good. Which introduced the brand new mechanic, the central mechanic of this game. You can freely swap between dozens, if not hundreds, of different random NPC characters. So you can literally be anyone in this game. And then they showed some hacking tools and drone buddies that are coming back from Watch Dogs 2. They announced that each character that you recruit to DedSect will have an origin mission for you to win them over, which is very Mass Effect style, with like loyalty missions and the such. And they basically said you can recruit anyone and play as anyone, and that every NPC has a simulated life and real-world relationships in London. And they announced that Watch Dogs Legion is releasing on March 6th, 2020, and this game looks awesome.
All right. To give some perspective on how revolutionary this actually is, someone played it on the show floor, like the actual game on the show floor. They are not lying when they say that every character that literally everyone in London has an origin mission. Everybody. All of them. Thousands of them. Every single one of them has an origin mission, and all of them have a different voice actor, different personality, everything. They're all there. You can play as all of them. They are not lying here.
So they've been working on this game for a while then.
This game could change a lot if it's as good as people are saying. Holy shit.
Yeah. But moving on, what was the guy's name? It was Rob something. The guy from
Mac from Always Sunny.
Yeah, there you go.
Yes, Rob. I forget his last name, but I know.
Yeah, he came out on stage and he said that the producers of Always Sunny are working with Ubisoft to create a TV show called Mythic Quest Raven's Banquet, which is a show about video games and those who play them. It is apparently a satirical mockumentary style show about big budget game development. And he said that the series will be airing on Apple TV Plus sometime in the near future, which cool. I mean, I don't really care, but it looked funny. So
and his lead character name is Tim Grimm.
No, it's Ian Grimm.
Oh, Ian Grimm.
Ian Grimm.
And they pronounced it Ian too. Like
not
Ian Grimm.
Not Ian. It's Ian.
And he described himself as he's a creative director of Mythic Quest, and he is dedicated to his game, and like all creative directors, has a massive ego.
Yes. So I didn't really care about that, but it looked interesting regardless. Moving on, we got some new info about Rainbow Six Siege. There is a new season coming very soon. Operation Phantom Sight, which includes 2 new operators and a new battle mode called Clutch Royale, which they didn't reveal any information about that, but that's all apparently coming very soon. That's it. Moving on, they announced a new update for Brawlhalla. Adventure Time is coming to Brawlhalla because they announced that Jake and Flynn from Adventure Time are going to be playable characters. And they said they introduced a new buddy mode, and the Tree Fort stage from Adventure Time will be a new stage. And that is available now. You can download that for Brawlhalla right now to play as Jake and Finn.
And Princess Bubblegum as well.
Oh, yeah. Okay. Moving on. We got more info on Ghost Recon Breakpoint, which they revealed about a month ago at this point. We got a new trailer, and John Berthal came out on stage with his doggo, who was a very good boy. He came out with his dog, who was so obedient, in front of a fucking auditorium full of people. He just laid there minding his own business. He was a very good boy. Best part of E3 was the dog. So he talked about his character a little bit. And then they talked more about the game. They said that AI teammates will be available for solo players. There is a brand new community program for Ghost Recon called Delta Company, which allows users to share experiences such as fan art, post in discussion forums, etc., etc. They said a beta for Breakpoint will launch on September 5th. And then they said, hey guys, we've got Terminator 2, because they teased the Terminator right at the end. So I don't know what the obsession with Terminator was this E3, but it was everywhere.
Somebody saw someone saw like an early cut of Dark Fate and was like, you know what, Terminator's actually good again, and decided we're gonna put Terminator in everything.
Let's put Terminator in all our video games. Gears of War, Ghost Recon. Why not? So anyway, moving on. Thank you. So moving on, they announced Tom Clancy's Elite Squad, which is a mobile XCOM-style strategy game, which is a crossover between all their different Ubisoft brands. So things like The Division, Splinter Cell, Wildlands, Siege, things like that. Rip Sam Fisher and Rip Splinter Cell, because it was the only representation it got at this conference, was in this shitty-looking mobile game.
It's sad, but I will gladly play a fucking XCOM type game with all the Tom Clancy and stuff like that.
It doesn't even, in terms of mobile games, it doesn't even look that bad. Like I think
the fucking Tom Clancy Ghost Squadron for the 3DS. That's pretty good.
I think everyone just wrote it off because they saw Sam Fisher in there and they're like, well, fucking Splinter Cell's still dead, guys.
Yeah.
It sucks to be us, I guess.
What they should have done is what I would have done. I would have played that trailer and then announced a new Splinter Cell, and then I think the reaction to Elite Squad would have been a lot more positive, I think.
Unfortunately, they didn't, which is a shame.
Unfortunately, yeah.
But then they moved on to their obligatory dance number to introduce Just Dance 2020, and the panda was fucking back, and his dead eyes were just as cold and lifeless as they always were. So yeah, apparently Just Dance is celebrating its 10th anniversary this year, so they had a big homage trailer to the whole franchise. And they announced that it is coming in November to PS4, Xbox One, Switch, the Nintendo Wii, not the Wii U, the original Wii, and Google Stadia. So we can now confirm that the Wii has outlived the Wii U.
The Wii is like the PS2. It just will not die.
Wait. Are you fucking around that it's actually coming on the Wii? Or?
It's coming to the Wii, dude. The original Nintendo Wii.
But apparently they're still making games for the Wii. Like, they're still making a lot of games for the Wii.
I think Ubisoft is the only ones at this point.
Y'all mind if I just kill myself?
Yeah. Well, this isn't much different from previous years when they released them for 360, PS3, PS2, and Wii. Like, come on. This isn't a shock at all. The fact that it's coming to Stadia was a bit of a surprise, but who cares about Stadia?
It's so stupid, though, man.
I know.
Yeah. Yeah, but they stand the Wii.
Yeah, they stand the Wii hard. But moving on, we got some more stuff about For Honor. There is a limited time in-game event coming called Shadows of the Hitokiri, which is available now. You can play it now in For Honor. Kudos to them for continuing to support this game, because I thought it was honestly going to be dead on arrival. But they got a pretty good fan base going. So
I bought
For Honor is actually dope.
Listen, I bought For Honor when it came out. It was poo, but it's honestly didn't work. It's just like what happened with Rainbow Six. They just put a lot of work into it. And
speaking of Rainbow Six, they went ahead and announced a brand new Rainbow Six game called Rainbow Six Quarantine. They showed a cinematic trailer showing a man from a first-person perspective fighting off weird, shadowy, creepy figures. And then he turns to his arm, and apparently he's infected with some sort of mechanical virus, because his arm and his veins start turning into, like, electrodes and wires and shit like that. It was fucking weird, but it looked very cool. It was very horror-inspired. And there was information that came out after the conference in a separate developer diary. Apparently, it is a squad-based tactical shooter with 3-player co-op, very similar to Rainbow Six Siege. And it emphasizes PvE co-op, not PvP. So, that was interesting.
Rainbow Six has had really good co-op, especially back in like their old Vegas days.
Yeah.
So this will be interesting to see.
Yeah, so no release date, no window, just, hey, this game is coming and we'll show you more later. Moving on, there was a big section about The Division 2 and all the things that are coming to it. June 13th to 16th, Division 2 will be free to play on all platforms, so if you haven't played Division 2 yet and you want to, go ahead and download it now, because it will be free on Thursday.
Nice.
They announced their first content update for Year 1, which will include 3 episodes. Episode 1 is coming in July, and it is titled DC Outskirts Expeditions, where you go to a new woodlands area and a national zoo to find a traitor and bring him back. Episode 2 is coming in the fall. It is called Pentagon: The Last Castle. It is set in the Pentagon that has apparently been taken hostage by terrorists, which is interesting. and they had a cinematic trailer for Episode 3, which didn't really show much, but they said that is coming in early 2020. They also announced that a second raid for the game will be coming in the fall. And they also announced that a Division movie is being directed by David Leitch, who was one of the guy. He directed John Wick, didn't he?
He was the co-director on the first John Wick.
Okay. And
he has since left John Wick, though, to go direct Atomic Blonde and Deadpool 2.
Okay.
And he also is, and his next film is technically Hobbs and Shaw, one of the Fast and Furious spinoff, which comes out in August.
Okay. So yeah, he's directing this movie, and it is a collaboration with Netflix. So it is a Netflix production.
And Jake Gyllenhaal and Jessica Chastain will be the lead characters.
Yes. So there will be more information about
Good
that.
cast.
There will be more information about that at some point in the future. But it is coming sometime next year. Moving on, Ubisoft announced basically their equivalent to Xbox Game Pass called Ubisoft Uplay Plus. It is a PC subscription service that gives you early access to new Ubisoft games and Ultimate Editions right as they're released, and it has a catalog of over 100 plus Ubisoft titles that you can play at any time, download them right to your PC, and play them whenever you want. It will be $15 a month, and if you sign up now, you will get free access to it in September. It includes free games, DLC, as well as classic Ubisoft properties like the original Rayman. And that is starting in September. And they announced that Uplay Plus will be coming to Google Stadia in 2020.
Yeah.
They're really trying to sell Stadia.
Yeah. Moving on. This was the one I wanted to see because I was like, this was leaked a little while ago, and I want to see if it's actually real because it sounds fucking dumb. But it's real. Roller Champions is here. This is the roller derby game that was leaked a little while ago. They fully announced it here. A pre-alpha E3 demo will be available from June 10th to 14th on PC, so if you want to go play that, go ahead. It is a high-speed arcade sports game that looks to me, from the gameplay they showed, it looks like a weird mix between Overwatch, Rocket League, and Tony Hawk's Pro Skater.
Which is...
all great games.
It looks cool. It looks cool.
And it's definitely a different kind of sports game, so I'll give them props for that.
It looks very unique, and I'm actually very interested in it.
I have to look up the name of that movie.
What movie?
What movie?
Fucking, if it's a roller derby movie, it has to have Ellen Page in it.
Oh, fucking Whip It.
I think it was Whip It, yeah.
That came out like a decade ago, and no one went to go see it.
I saw it. Fuck you.
All right, calm down.
I'm sorry.
Waffalo.
When it comes to Ellen Page, it gets really defensive. Okay.
Waffalo.
She's my lesbian wife.
Waffalo. So yeah, they announced that. It looks pretty dope. Not gonna lie. And then to close out the conference, which honestly was kind of a flaccid ending, very anticlimactic. Not the announcement itself, but just how they ended it. They announced Gods and Monsters, which is a new game being developed by the team who developed Assassin's Creed Odyssey. It has a mythological focus, a very cartoony art style, and it is being released on February 25th, 2020. It looks very much like a cartoony Assassin's Creed, but more focused on the mythological side of things. So I know Matt was very excited about this.
Yeah, Gods and Monsters looks really cool. Mm-hmm. I love this idea. It's from the Assassin's Creed people. It comes out this year, and it looks, the art style. It pretty much it's Assassin's Creed meets Zelda meets mythical creatures and gods and monsters, which is up my alley. This looks really cool. I love it.
Yeah, and then they just ended it. Legit. From the end of that trailer, they went straight into the Twitch tent where they were having their fucking Rainbow Six Siege event. So the conference didn't even have an ending. It just went to the Twitch tent and they're like, hey, esports. So yeah, extremely anticlimactic finish. Some weird omissions too. No Skull and Bones, but we knew about that going in. The one that really stung was no Beyond Good and Evil 2 whatsoever.
Where the fuck is this game?
No developer update, no trailer, no gameplay, nothing.
This game has been in development for God knows how long. They showed it twice. They showed it like 4 E3s ago for the first time. Waited 2 years. Showed it last year. And I was like, oh, it's actually it's further in development, and nothing this year, which makes me think it's not going to come. Which means that is it one of those games that's just going to be in development hell?
Development hell. Here we go, boys. So yeah, that was the Ubisoft conference. Overall, solid show. Definitely not the best one, but they had some cool stuff to show. Matt, what did you think of the Ubisoft conference? Very brief thoughts.
Ubisoft is usually pretty consistent with their conferences, in that they're good but not great. And this is the same as usual. Good but not great, which means solid. I would rather a company be surprisingly consistent with their quality than be all over the place like Microsoft or Sony, who are always all over the place. Ubisoft is usually pretty consistently good, and this is no exception. Pretty much everything they showed was pretty good, looked really cool, especially Gods and Monsters, and especially Watch Dogs Legion. I think Watch Dogs Legion was easily not only the best thing they showed, might be one of the best things that E3 had this year. It looks really impressive. It astounds me on how the Watch Dogs games have consistently gotten just better and better and better. And if it keeps going like this, I think a fourth Watch Dogs game, oh my God, I can only imagine. And I'm very excited for it. I do agree that the lack of Beyond Good and Evil was actually like a negative for me, like a huge negative, because where the hell is that game? Please give us an update where the fuck it is. And I also think they spent too much time on non-gaming related stuff. Movies, TV shows. I understand that Ubisoft really is making a push into film stuff. In multimedia. They have a motion picture division now. And their first film was Assassin's Creed. Ew. That shit was, as we call, garbage. So I understand why they do it, because they really want to make that push. But at the same time, it dragged this down a bit. Also, John Bernthal had a dog, and that's also
he had a very good doggo.
It was like a black pit. It was a black pit bull, and I loved him.
He was a very good boy.
And apparently, it has no relation to the game either. It's literally just John Bernthal brought his dog.
Like they they called up John Bernthal and they were like, "Hey, you're starring in our Ghost Recon game. You want to come out and talk about it on our E3 stage?" And he's like, "On one condition, I need to bring my dog."
No, he literally the dog has no relation to the game whatsoever. John Bernthal just brought his dog. I think that's adorable. And gives me more reason as to why John Bernthal is a great man, and I love him.
Yes.
The one condition, let me bring my doggo. I promise he's good boy.
He was very good boy. That audience was clapping up a storm, and he just sat there like, what is happening? I will not bark or snort.
I'm just gonna sit. Man, okay. I just want to just go back a minute, okay? Because can we talk about Watch Dogs for a minute?
Very briefly.
Very briefly, let me talk about Watch Dogs, and then I'll give my final thoughts on Ubisoft, because I was unfortunately working, but the things you told me got me pretty excited. Watch Dogs 1 was a letdown. Massive letdown.
Yep. Yeah.
It was the epitome of a meh. It was an okay game.
It was a
Watch Dogs 2 came out and fucking blew me out of the water. When the first mission involves you fucking using a soundboard to try to get somebody to give money to a fucking charity, like, yo, bitch, I'm Bobo Jakes. It's one of I still quote that. The game surprises me, and if what they're saying about Legion and what that person played on that demo is like actually shown in the actual game when it comes out, then this might genuinely be one of the best open world games. And shout out to Skelly Vile on Twitter. She's the girlfriend of Super Bunny Hop, and she did the facial animation for this game. So, shout out to her. And just Ubisoft is good. I mean, I never hated Ubisoft. On the contrary, they're keeping the Wii alive. And that's something, at least.
Yeah, why the fuck is Ubisoft standing the Wii so hard?
So hard. I don't think a company has ever stand a console as hard as Ubisoft does the Wii.
We stand the Wii, dude.
Like, they have a massive
stand.
hard-on, as hard as a Wii remote for that console.
But, you guys told me stuff, and it looks exciting. And John Barenthal with a dog, great.
Mm-hmm.
So from what I've heard, it sounds like this is a solid, like a 7.5 out of 10 conference, like a pretty good conference.
Mm-hmm.
Josh?
You know what? From what I've heard, it sounds really solid. Nothing great, nothing crappy.
Mm-hmm.
So I think I'm going to give it a nice solid 7 out of 10.
Yeah, I have to agree with Josh. I was planning on giving it a 7 out of 10. Because they showed quite a bit of stuff. All of it was at least interesting, if not excellent. There's definitely some bits and pieces in here that honestly could have been cut, because, like, you don't really have to talk about that here. But I digress. Some of it's smaller, some of it's bigger. A big variety of stuff. Overall, pretty good. Not great, but very solid. I also give this a 7 out of 10. Watch Dogs, though. Holy fuck. Like, Watch Dogs is like a top 5 game of the show. Because everything they showed looked phenomenal.
Yeah, Watch Dogs looked downright phenomenal, to be honest.
Did you give a score for Ubisoft, Matt?
I give it a watch out of dog, because there was multiple dogs there. Watch Dogs and an actual dog.
Okay, moving on. Now we get to the dark horse of E3, and honestly, one of the best conferences that came out of nowhere. Let's move on to Square Enix. So,
Wait,
yes?
we're just going to skip Devolver?
I mean,
Okay.
Devolver didn't outside of
Devolver had a conference, and it was a drug trip. There you go.
No, but Devolver did show things.
They showed like
did
4 things.
Yeah, and Fall Guys looks really fucking fun.
Okay,
And
Spencer,
Tyrion
Spencer,
Yes.
you have a minute to recap everything the show. Go.
Ready? Go. So, this was a satirical take on the direct video format. It follows our main character, Nina Struthers, in her own mind through a simulated Devolver Direct type game. Some things that were shown. Fall Guys, a comical, colorful, not battle royale, more of an obstacle course in which one of you go, in which 52 people go through obstacles, and then they get a crown and then they win. Then they showed off the Devolver Bootleg Bundle, which is a bootleg version of 8 of their games, 6 of them single player, 2 of them only multiplayer, involving such hits as Enter the Gun Dungeon and Hotline Milwaukee. It looks really fun, and it's on for 1% off on Steam right now, so get that deal. Then they released the Absolute Mad Lads that they're just going to make an arcade cabinet. They're just making a Enter the Gungeon arcade game.
And it's not Enter the Gungeon, it's an Enter the Gungeon spin-off light game.
Yeah.
Light gun game.
It's a light gun game. And they've released, and they announced Carry On, which is this really awesome, I think they described it as like a reverse horror game, where instead of like running from the creature, you are the creature. And you have to basically like jump through walls and all that stuff. And then they show, the release date for My Friend Pedro, which is June 20th. And then it ends with Nina Struthers being brought back to life, and there's a Terminator reference scene.
Well, you forgot to mention the Messenger DLC, but...
Yeah, the Messenger's good, okay? Play it. Support Devolver. Just fucking...
Yes, Devolver, unironically, was one of the best conferences just because it was cynical, satirical bullshit, and I love it.
Devolver is... Many people don't realize. Devolver, like, the company is only, like, 30 people. It's a really small publishing company.
Are you done?
Okay, talk about Square now.
Thank you.
Yep.
Okay. Move on to Square Enix, dark horse of E3. Compared to last year's, this was a fucking godsend. They took Sony's big time slot and they fucking brought the heat. So right off the bat, they wasted no time. They went right into Final Fantasy VII Remake, which I wrote in my notes. Maybe I'll actually like this one because I'm not a huge fan of the original game. They had a full gameplay presentation where they showed off the boss battle in the reactor at the beginning of the game. They introduced tactical mode, which is a slow-mo mode used to make tactical decisions. Once your ATB bars fill, you can perform melee attacks, magic, or use items while you are in tactical mode. And there is real-time switching between characters in the game. So you can switch between, say, Cloud and Barrett on the fly, which is very good to hear. You can stagger enemies by breaking their focus gauge. You can pause into the tactical menu, or you can map different moves to shortcuts, so you can go right back into the action. And then they showed the extended trailer that they showed at the Final Fantasy VII concert, which we won't talk about because
$500 for midis?
Oh my god, Joel was right.
$500 for midis?
$500?
$500 to play meaties?
Meaties?
Okay.
That was I've been waiting all day to make that joke, by the way.
Thank you.
I hope you're proud of me.
I was not disappointed. So yeah, they showed an extended version of the concert trailer, showed a lot of story stuff with Cloud and Barrett, and they finally showed Tifa, and they showed Tifa gameplay, and she looks fucking incredible.
My girl looking good.
Yeah, she looks
Becky,
good.
Becky, let me smash.
Yes, please let me smash the Tifa.
Yeah, and we also got to see Sephiroth for the first time. I'm pretty
and then
sure
at the
too.
well, we saw it in the teaser trailer, but we got
very-
we got a full reveal of Sephiroth, where he confronts Cloud in the alleyway, and then they revealed a release date, which was revealed the night before, but I digress. March 3rd, 2020 is coming out exclusively for PS4 on March 3rd, 2020. They announced a collector's edition and a first class edition with a Cloud bike figure, which is apparently $330.
No, I'm not buying that. I'm sorry. Okay, that's a lie. I want it. I don't want to.
That's a lie. Don't quote me on that.
No, I want it, but I don't have the money for it. It's like that. It's like, you know what? I want it, but nah.
And then they revealed a little later on that, yes, the game is still episodic. They are planning on chopping it up into bits and fully fleshing out and expanding on each section. So this game that's coming out March 30th, this game that's coming out March 3rd is just the Midgar section, but they are expanding upon it, giving it more content, adding different things from the spin-offs like Advent Children and things like that.
Crisis Core, yeah.
Yeah, Crisis Core. So yeah, that's a thing. A lot of us aren't pleased with it, but
it's annoying. It's annoying, but for what it sounds like, it honestly sounds like that each episode is like its own game in itself. So I don't think it. I think knowing Japan and the way they mean episodes, they probably mean episodes in the same way they mean like, oh, each Final Fantasy 13 game was an episode. It's a full game.
They probably mean like disc episode.
Yeah. This first part is on 2 discs. So the Midgar stuff is on 2 discs alone.
Yeah, and each disc is like 40 hours apparently. So
yeah. So it's not ideal, and I still think that the idea of taking a 20-year-old game and splitting it into chunks is still kind of bullshit.
Especially since that one episode is like the length of the original game, which means how long is this fucking
It's going to be
thing?
like 200 plus hours.
I also love how director of FF7
Tetsuya Nomura.
Tetsuya Nomura went on record and just fucking shot CyberConnect to shreds.
Yeah.
They're like, so the reason why this took so long is because CyberConnect wasn't, and I quote, it was like they were taking too long and it looked like shit, so we fucking scrapped it.
Okay.
Yeah. I love Nomura.
Nomura savage.
I love. All right. This game. Okay, so this game looks incredible.
Mm-hmm.
It looks a lot more like the original game that I thought it would, to be completely honest with you. Because in the original trailer, it looked like as Shane said, it looked like Kingdom Hearts. After this gameplay, though, this ain't Kingdom Hearts.
It looks like a very different version of.
Yeah, it's
Final
very
Fantasy
different. I like how they incorporated the active time stuff.
Yes.
a lot.
Yes,
actually.
thank God.
Mhm.
I was worried because active time. I think this is the first Final Fantasy game that has had active time battle in a very, very long time, since 9, I think. And it's nice to see it back, and it's a natural extension of that. Where like, hi, if you're active time, if you have your meter down and in the real time, you can't really do anything, but you can still move around. Which is nice. I like that idea. I like the natural extension. I like that fight with the boss that they had with the giant. It's a crab thing. I don't know what it is.
Yeah.
Monte?
Shut up.
With the giant crab thing. I like in the original game, you just kind of fought like a giant crab, and yeah, it was a fun It was a really fun, cool boss fight in the original game. But in this game, now you need to basically disarm it. Basically, you have to go at it leg by leg, pretty much, which I think is really cool. Where it's kind of I don't know. This game just looks incredible. Also, Sephiroth is hot.
Yes, he is. I mean, Tifa's hot too. So
I mean, well, here's Sephiroth. Tifa's my waifu, and Sephiroth is my fucking husband, the original husbando.
Sephiroth is the Goku Black to Final Fantasy VII, and that means I want him to step on me and call me mortal scum.
You are the dirt that I step on.
Anyway, let's move on before we ramble about Final Fantasy VII forever, because I know you met.
Yeah.
So immediately following this, they had the most flaccid follow-up, which was a trailer for Life is Strange 2, which has already been out for months. It wasn't even a trailer for episode 4. It was just a general overview trailer, and I'm like, huh?
Probably Why? To get people to buy Life is Strange 2. How do you get people to buy Life is Strange 2? Just tell them it's Life is Strange 2. They'll buy it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was gonna say, just how about you actually tell people that this game is real and out, and you can buy it instead of not.
If anyone also Life is Strange 2, really good. Very good actually.
Yeah. So they showed trailer, cool. Moving on. And then they showed off some stuff from Crystal Chronicles Remastered. They announced that there is an online multiplayer mode in the new gameplay trailer, and that it is coming this winter. So look forward to that. Moving on. Octopath Traveler is now available on PC. Right fucking now. You can go download it for PC right now. Josh?
Yeah, I know.
Download it.
No, it's $85.
That's not my problem.
$85.
And bitch, I just bought Black Ops 3 and Super Dimension Neptunia.
Well, bitch,
okay.
maybe manage your money better.
Maybe.
Whoa, Waffalo.
Maybe let him buy what he wants, Shane.
Eat Waffalo.
It was totally a joke. And then I went fucking balls deep into it.
Hey, whoa.
Anyway, so that's available on PC. You can go download that now. Moving on, super big surprise out of nowhere. The Last Remnant Remastered is available right now on Nintendo Switch. Okay. Sure, Square, go right ahead.
Flex.
Yeah, flex that. Flex those JRPG muscles. Then they had a new trailer for Dragon Quest Builders 2. It looks like more of the same, which is honestly all you could expect from that game because it's pretty dope. And it is releasing on July 12th. And there will be a demo available exclusively on PSN on June 27th, so you can go play that. Moving on, they had a new trailer for Dragon Quest XI Definitive Edition S, which is the Switch port. They revealed that there is a classic mode which turns everything into pixel art and makes it look exactly like an old school Dragon Quest game, which is honestly the coolest shit ever. And they also announced that it will have a new orchestrated soundtrack. And it is available this fall, which we got the official release date later on in the Nintendo Direct, but we'll get there. Moving on, they showed a new game called Circuit Superstars, which is a classic top-down racing game coming in 2020, which looks pretty cool. It's
Micro Machines.
Yeah.
It's Micro Machines.
And it looked very cool because I'm totally into those kind of games. Moving on, they showed a trailer for Battalion 1944, which is basically a COD ripoff. Like, it looks exactly like the older CODs, like 2 and 3. But you can play it now on Steam. So if you're looking for some classic Call of Duty style action, go for it.
Yeah, I've heard it's
Yeah. Moving on, they had a Square Enix music announcement where they revealed that they are now releasing Final Fantasy soundtracks on music streaming services such as Spotify and Apple Music. So immediately after they announced that, I went and downloaded the Final Fantasy VII soundtrack because fuck me, right? So yeah, you can go.
Good FF9 soundtrack, okay?
Yeah. I don't
Just
know
get
how
the-
many they released, but you can go download those now.
all 15. Just
All
get
15
the
of them.
entire.
Okay.
Just get the entire series because every Final Fantasy game has amazing. Like that's the one consistent between the series is that the music slaps.
Okay.
So
Well, there you go. All of them are available now. Go download them on Spotify. Moving on. This was revealed before the conference, but they showed it again here. Kingdom Hearts 3 Remind, which is the DLC that is coming out in the winter. It got leaked early, and I purposely avoided it because I wanted to be surprised.
Yeah,
And
same.
surprised I was when they revealed that there is playable Riku, Aqua, and Roxas.
and Roxa.
And from
Aqua?
what they showed, it seems as though there is a new scenario where you play the final parts of the game in the Keyblade Graveyard from their perspectives because it's the same area, same boss fights. So like, because in the game you show up as Sora and they're already fighting, so it seems like they're going to show the scenarios of what happened before Sora got there, and that's really cool to me, especially if I get to play as fucking Roxas.
That could also fill in some of the gaps. I didn't even know that I didn't think there were any gaps in that last section of Kingdom Hearts 3.
So I have a question then.
Uh-huh.
Is Aqua just fucking useless?
No.
Leave your
I get the
fucking
joke.
anime Konosuba
I
bullshit
get the
out of
joke,
this.
but also, how fucking dare you? You don't step up to my wife like that, call her useless.
I mean, like, Aqua. Okay.
Josh
sounds
sounds
so
sad
defeated.
now.
He sounds so defeated.
Defeat.exe run.
Yeah. But also in the trailer, they revealed new forms for Sora, something that looked very akin to Kingdom Hearts 2 Final Form because he has Oathkeeper. So that's a thing. And the story of this DLC seems to be very focused on Luxord and his prior history. So that's interesting. It will be available this winter. No set release date, but it's coming out at the end of the year. Moving on, they talked about Final Fantasy XIV a bunch, and Shadowbringers, which is the new version of the game. They announced the third expansion for that will be coming on July 2nd. There will be 2 new jobs, Gunbreaker and Dancer, as well as 2 new races, which I unfortunately did not catch the names of. But yes?
It's Glackety Glook and Boopity Bloop. Those are the names of it.
Perfect. Perfect translation, Matt. Thank you.
Shit, man. Damn.
Yeah, so they
pretty
showed a
good.
new trailer for that. Third expansion coming July 2nd. I heard Final Fantasy XIV is one of the biggest 180s in all of gaming. So,
Oh.
Dude, Yoshi P fucking kicked down the door and went, "Hey bitches, here's what we're gonna do. 1, take the original game, toss it in the garbage. 2, the opening cutscene for Realm Reborn is gonna take place in the original 14, and we're gonna destroy it. We're gonna fucking blow it up with Bahamut. It's gonna be great. 3, keep putting out monthly content. Every month, fix something, patch something, let the people know what we're doing. And then every couple months after that,
right?
what?
FF14 is the online one.
it's the
Yeah.
MMO.
Yes, it's the
Okay.
MMO. And it goes, so every month, Yoshi P made it fix something. Tell the people what we're doing. Don't put them in the dark. And then every couple of months after that, he would go, okay, here's the expansion, here's the news, here's the new job classes, here's everything. And if you read the fucking patch notes for 14, like I do sometimes, just because I find it really interesting to read patch notes, Yoshi P puts fucking effort, and he cares about the people who play this game. And it's just really good, honestly, and congratulations.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
This game's
and the third expansion is coming out July 2nd. So, look
Yeah.
forward to that, future subscribers.
Oh, yeah.
Moving on, we got a new trailer for Dying Light 2, which was more gameplay focused than the one they showed at Microsoft show. It's Dying Light, all right. It's Mirror's Edge, but with zombies, and it looks kind of dope. Moving on, this was a very weird announcement. They announced 2 classic JRPG remasters, one of which was Saga Scarlet Grace Ambitions, and the other, I didn't catch the full name because it was some stylized font that I couldn't read.
It's Romancing Saga 3.
Romancing Saga 3, there you go, thank you.
They're both part of the same series, from what I understand.
Yeah. They're both being remastered, and they're coming soon, so cool, I guess. Yeah. I had no idea that these existed before last night, but they do.
All I know is that Romancing Saga 3 is one famous, acclaimed. It's basically one of those games. It's one of the most acclaimed JRPGs that never made it out of Japan. Okay. So this is the first time it's coming to the West.
Okay.
So this is a huge deal. So that they just casually dropped in the middle of a...
Which, Square Enix has taken some notes from Nintendo, just casually dropping shit in the middle of the conference. Like, here you go.
Yeah.
But anyway, moving on, they announced a new entry in the Final Fantasy Brave Exvius universe called War of the Visions. They showed a trailer explaining the lore behind it and what it's adding to the game, and it is now in development. No release date window, it's just they're working on it now. So cool, if you like that stuff. Okay, Internet, thank you for dropping considerably. Anyway, and then we got one of the bigger announcements from the Square conference. From the developers of Bulletstorm, People Can Fly, they announced their new game called Outriders, which is a 3-person co-op shooter, which features drop-in, drop-out co-op, and character creation. And they showed a cinematic trailer. It looks very Bulletstorm-esque, but a little more serious. And they announced that more is being announced in the winter, and is coming out next summer. So summer 2020 for that. Moving on, they showed a trailer for Oninaki, which I could have sworn we saw before, and I'm pretty sure we have at some other conference.
Nope, this is a new reveal.
You sure? It's
sure.
very familiar for some reason.
I'm gonna do a fact check.
Please fact check.
But Oninaki.
But it was a
nope. I am wrong. It was announced back on February 3rd, 2019, at a Nintendo Direct.
Thank you. That's where I've seen it. Okay. So this is a game we already knew about, but they followed up on it. It's a real-time hack-and-slash action RPG. It looks pretty cool, all things considered. And it's coming out on August 22nd, 2019. So that's cool.
Yeah.
One of the hyper announcements, one that we thought we were never going to see because they said they lost the original source files. We thought it was never going to happen, but now it is. Final Fantasy VIII is finally being remastered.
Wait, Shane. Shane, I'm sorry. I couldn't hear you.
Okay, we're about to get a copyright strike. Okay.
Yeah, 7 seconds.
Yeah,
don't worry.
Please stop.
I know the law, okay? I know how to sample. But, yeah.
And the upgrade in graphic did a comparison is insane.
Mm-hmm.
They said they lost the original source code. I have a feeling they might have done this from scratch. It looks like,
yeah, kind of like what they did with the Kingdom Hearts remasters, because that was the same kind of ordeal.
Yeah, it looks Final Fantasy VIII. It's Golden Age of Final Fantasy. It's one of the best in the series. Go check it out.
And it is coming this year, so look forward to that. And then to close off the conference, of course, it was what we were all building up to. They finally talked about Marvel's Avengers, the full world premiere. So we got a cinematic trailer showing things off. There were some very interesting details in that trailer, but they talked about the story a little later on. Basically, it's set on A-Day, Avengers Day, which is a big celebration to celebrate the Avengers. Something happens and things go awry, and then the Avengers are then cast out by society. They are outlawed, and then they are disbanded. And then the game takes place after a 5-year time skip where a new evil emerges, and they have to reassemble to take it down.
Yeah. Some expansions on that. Captain America is apparently dead. Captain America's dead. The helicarrier that blew up was powered by Terrigen crystals, which, if you know your Marvel lore, means Inhumans. And for what I understand, they were there to celebrate the beginning of the West Coast Avengers, which, if you also know your Marvel lore, is a big deal because that's the second team of Avengers, main team of Avengers. I'm pretty sure. So,
thank you. Anyway, there were some interesting details I saw in that trailer. All I know is that I saw Taskmaster and Abomination, and I was like, "Hey, that's cool."
Yeah, and a Yun-Hang Pym, which is a rare thing.
Yeah, that was at the very end, which I was gonna get to, but Matt spoiled it. Thank you.
I'm sorry.
So let's go into the gameplay. They didn't show very much gameplay at the conference, but apparently there's a big gameplay demo that's happening on the show floor. From what we saw, brief glimpses, it looks like a third-person action RPG style game. You can play as Captain America, Hulk, Thor, Black Widow, and Iron Man in a completely original story. And then they announced the cast. And holy God, they got some good people in here.
All-star cast.
So here we have the Troy Baker as Bruce Banner, or the Hulk. Laura Bailey as Black Widow, which I was very happy to see.
Yeah.
The boy Travis Willingham as the Mighty Thor.
Reprising his role from the animated stuff, so they brought him back. Okay. That's nice.
Yeah, Travis Willingham is a fucking...
I think he is the animated voice of Thor. He's pretty much voiced Thor since, 2012 in animation, so he is Thor.
And that man is gorgeous.
Oh, I love him.
Nolan North as Iron Man, which you can hear immediately.
They don't hide it.
And Jeff Shine as Captain America.
Yeah.
So, all-star cast, great cast. They went into some more details about the game after that. They said it is 4-player online co-op, but it is a single-player game that supports 4-player online co-op. You can customize your characters however you see fit with different abilities and stuff. They said all additional content for the game will be free of charge, and that there are no microtransactions, which someone had to fucking dunk on EA at some point in this.
Yeah, and no loot boxes either.
Yeah.
From what I understand, the 5 characters they showed are not the only playable characters in the game, I think. From what they mentioned, apparently there's other, they're gonna constantly just be adding new heroes, I think, right?
Well, they didn't say anything about that, so.
Because I heard something that they were gonna constantly, because I heard that that pretty much the 5 characters they showed is only scratching the surface on how many characters are actually playable in this. So,
well, we'll have to wait and see once it comes out.
Yeah.
But then they reveal that there is PlayStation exclusive content, including early beta access, which they did not give any details on, as well as unique benefits, which is all they said about that. And then they showed one final trailer, which revealed Hank Pym, aka Ant-Man, will be in the game. And he's got his fucking shrink ray, and he shrinks a giant spider robot, and it's dope.
His BIM particles.
Yeah. And then they revealed the release date is releasing worldwide on May 15th, 2020. So already after this
Happy
E3,
birthday to me.
Yeah, it was right on Spencer's birthday too. But already the first half of 2020 after this E3 is looking fucking packed.
Yeah. All right. So I've been waiting for the Avengers game for God knows how long.
Okay, Matt. I know you're going to ramble on about this, so try and keep it brief. Okay.
Yeah. I'll try to keep it as short as I can. This game I've been waiting for about 2 years now. Ever since it was announced, because I think that because especially after Spider-Man, I think this is a good chance for a renaissance of good Marvel games, and holy fuck, this game looks so good. This game looks so good. It's giving me Spider-Man PS4 vibes.
Yes, very heavy PS4 Spider-Man PS4 vibes.
And I'm pretty sure that may be intentional because I'm fucking convinced this is in the same universe.
Oh yeah, it has to be.
Because they mentioned the West Coast Avengers here, which are mentioned in Spider-Man.
Yeah, they say Spidey says that the Avengers can't help because they're dealing with something on the West Coast. So it's directly tied to this.
West Coast. And from what I understand, someone said, what I understand, I need to go look up the theory. Let me go look that up. From what I understand about the theory that someone like posited was that because like that it's actually a prequel to the game, that it's a prequel to Spider-Man. It's not a sequel, and that it's because in the events of Spider-Man, Taskmaster mentions that he's fought the Avengers before, and Taskmaster looks a lot younger in this game, and they fight Taskmaster. So I'm pretty convinced that this is probably in the same. If this is in the same universe as Spider-Man PS4, is all I can say. Because imagine how cool it would be to have like a fucking Marvel game universe, just like we have a Marvel cinematic universe. Like imagine a series of games, of Marvel games that are like all interconnected between like between different consoles, different characters, but all have like the same cast of characters.
Yeah.
Like the same cast. Like from what I understand, that Iron Man VR game that's coming out also has Nolan North as Iron Man. Like it's the same actor.
Yeah.
So like it's. I think it's happening. I think we're getting it, and and they've said that the PS4 people are gonna get like a special bonus. I'm convinced that Spider-Man. I'm pretty sure. I'm just excited.
Are you done now?
Yeah, I said I'm done.
Okay. And that was Square's conference, of course, being the world premiere of Avengers is what they ended the show with. Very brief overall thoughts on Square Enix. Matt?
One of the strongest conferences of the show. They really made an impression. Pretty much everything they showed is up my alley, especially they ended strong and they started strong, which I think is the important thing. And then the middle was filled with a bunch of stuff that I really found interesting, particularly the Kingdom Hearts DLC, the fucking Outriders, Final Fantasy 14, and of course Octopath coming to PC, so I can finally play it now. So yeah, lots of good stuff. I give this a remake out of Endgame because Avengers.
Nice.
Okay.
I want Tifa to step on me.
Okay, Spencer. Very brief thoughts on Square's conference.
I want Tifa to step on me, and
Okay.
I'm gonna like it.
All right,
And
that's
I
all he has
also
to say, I guess.
And I also want Yuffie to step on me, except she totally wouldn't. She'd give me a hug. I'd
Yeah.
give her a hug. And I also want Avengers to be about Captain America's fucking dead, dude.
I don't think he's dead.
He's dead. If he's dead, then I'm gonna be like, well, time to give it to the black man.
I want Black Widow to
Again.
step.
But
This quickly
like
became
Square.
a kink stream, I guess.
I like Square. Square's a good company. They really, all they need is next E3 if we can just get some type of Chrono Trigger, anything. That's
Big-
my hope
big
now.
aspirations.
Because when we get to the next conference, dreams come true. Anything is possible now. We're living in the best video game timeline. God bless you, Square, which is why I give Square Enix a broken marriage out of 10.
Okay.
Oh.
Josh, what did you think of
All right,
Square's
so you
conference?
ready for nice and sweet? It was good. There was a lot of good games. It's an 8 out of 10.
Okay, good.
All right.
Nice and sweet.
Yes.
Wow.
I like Square's conference a lot. I said they were the dark horse going in because I feel like after the disaster that was last year's conference, they really had to step up their game, especially taking Sony's big time slide. And that is exactly what they did. They started strong, they ended strong, and they riddled the middle with a bunch of different game announcements that all looked cool and interesting that I might actually care about. So because of that, I put them on the same caliber as Microsoft's, So I'm giving this a 9 out of 10. It was extremely solid, one of the best, easily top 3 conferences. The only negative I have is that there was one game I wanted to see that they didn't talk about, which was Babylon's Fall, which is the Platinum game that they announced last year. There was no new information about that, which is kind of a shame, but they're working on Bayo, so I get it. So yeah, 9 out of 10. Really great conference. Which, of course, just got trumped by today's conference, which, oh boy. We don't even have to talk about it. Just go watch our reaction stream. We went fucking insane.
Yeah, we'll keep this pretty brief because we already have a stream up.
Yeah.
Some stuff dropped recently because I've been looking at Twitter. Some stuff dropped about Avengers. Marvel Ultimate Alliance. They showed off Deadpool is in the game, as is fucking Juggernaut. In a tweet about Taco Tuesday, in which Juggernaut bowls through a wall and knocks over Deadpool's tacos, and that makes him upset. Second thing that dropped is there is a new Pokemon got revealed at the Treehouse. It is an electric type Corgi, and its ability is adorable, called Fetch Ball. And its ability is that if you throw a Pokeball and it misses, the dog will go and fetch the Pokeball and bring it back to you for the first ball that misses.
That's adorable.
Yeah, it's called Zapner, I believe. I'll check. And also, I refuse to admit this, but Animal Crossing is real. Panzer Dragoon is real, and we get to fuck people as Geralt on the go. So there you go.
Let's actually get into it now. Thanks, you, Spencer.
You're welcome.
So, Nintendo had their E3 Direct today. We just watched it live. If you want to go see that, it's on YouTube. Go check it out. We're going to briefly skim through this because we've already reacted to it. They started off big with a Smash announcement. The second DLC character will be the Dragon Quest hero. And they revealed that they're basically this character is basically every Dragon Quest protagonist ever because they're all separate skins. And the one big thing about his moveset is that he has a mana bar, which he can use to cast spells. He is coming in summer 2019. To follow that up, they had a new trailer for Dragon Quest XI Definitive Edition S, which was very similar to the trailer that Square showed, but they actually had a definitive release date. It is releasing on the Switch on September 27th, 2019, so very, very soon. Next, they had a small trailer for Luigi's Mansion, which showed a new hotel setting, a haunted hotel. And they showed new moves for Luigi, including new plunger moves he can use to throw objects, as well as a shockwave ability. And they introduced Luigi from the remake on 3DS of the original game that he can use to get to places that he can't normally get. And they revealed the co-op mode from Dark Moon is coming back. Very Four Swords-like. And weird that this game didn't get a release date, because it didn't. It just said available in 2019. But it's still apparently coming this year, which we can't say about another big game that they showed. Moving on, we saw the Dark Crystal Age of Resistance Tactics, which is it is a Final Fantasy Tactics type strategy game that is a tie-in to the Netflix series that is coming in July. And that's coming out sometime for the Switch in 2019. Looked interesting. Dark Crystal is dope. If you haven't seen it, it's on Netflix. Go watch it. It's fucking great.
Get excited for the show. That's all I'm gonna say.
Next, we saw a new trailer for the Link's Awakening remake, and we saw a bunch more gameplay. Nothing of note here, really. The only thing that they announced that completely came out of nowhere is that there's a dungeon creator where you can create your own dungeon layouts and hopefully post them online for other people to play. They didn't say anything about that, but they did give us a release date of September 20th, 2019. So Link's Awakening is coming in September, which a lot of this stuff is coming out in September. So September's looking pretty packed for Nintendo.
Do you remember?
Wait, what do we remember, Josh?
Oh, I was just going to sing September. Do you remember?
Oh, yeah, Green Day. Anyway.
Fuck you.
Next, they announced that they are remaking Trials of Mana, which is coming out in early 2020, and they followed that up with Collection of Mana, which is a collection of all the different Mana games, which is available right now. I can confirm. I was on the eShop 5 minutes ago. It's up. You can buy it. So go get that.
Final Fantasy Adventure, Secret of Mana, and Legend of Mana?
No, Trials of Mana, the original version of Trials of Mana.
Oh. Which is actually, I think, the first time it's available in the US, because that never made it in Japan. So
yeah, so that's available today. Go buy that on your Switch. And then next, we had confirmation of leaks. Witcher 3 is coming to the Switch. The Witcher 3 Complete Edition will be coming to Switch sometime in 2019, and it will include all of the previous downloadable content. So, hey.
I'm going to be real. It looks like ass, but
it really kind of does.
It looks like ass, but at the same time, it's
Witcher 3 on the Switch.
Yeah, if if it looking like ass is a compromise to play it on the go, then sure. I don't care what it looks like.
I'm pretty sure gameplay wise that thing's still gonna be incredible. So to be honest, graphical quality never really bothers me anyways. So to be honest, for a Switch game, it looks pretty good. It looks really good.
If I can just play it, I don't care. But moving on, we got a new trailer for Fire Emblem 3 Heroes, which is coming out in July. It focused more on story over gameplay, which is fine, because we've seen a bunch of gameplay.
It spoiled the time skip, that's all I know.
Yeah. Moving on, we got confirmation that 2 more Resident Evil titles are being ported to Switch, Resi 5 and 6, which basically completes the Resident Evil remasters that have been on other platforms for a while now. Those are coming in fall 2019.
Yes.
And then we got what I deem the Spencer freakout moment, because he went absolutely ballistic.
On the stream.
Yeah, on stream you can watch that. We got confirmation that No More Heroes 3 is officially happening. Of course, being directed by Suda51 and developed by Grasshopper Manufacture. It is coming exclusively to the Switch sometime in 2020. So get fucking hype, boys, because Travis Touchdown is back. Next, we got the announcement of a new Contra game called Contra Rogue Core, which looks very different from the classic Contra games, because this is a top-down twin-stick shooter. It looks very good. It supports local, wireless, and online play. And they didn't give a release date for that, but they gave us the surprise announcement that the Contra Collection is out now. So you can go out and buy the Contra Collection for Switch right now. That's pretty cool. We got a new trailer for Daemon X Machina, which fuck you whoever develops Daemon X Machina, because while we were talking about Microsoft, I got a copyright claim on the fucking stream because of the Daemon X Machina trailer. So go fuck yourselves.
It's Marvelous. It's the studio's named Marvelous. So fuck you,
yeah,
Marvelous.
Go fuck yourself, Marvelous.
It's Marvelous IQI.
It's Marvelous. So why? I don't care that you make the fucking that you make the Harvest Moon games. They make the Harvest Moon games. What?
Yeah, Marvelous help with Neptune. So.
Well, fuck them. They gave me a content ID for no reason. Fuck them.
Yeah.
But yeah, we got a new trailer for Daemon X Machina that is coming out on September 13th, which is a little later than we thought because they said summer, but
yeah,
it's still relatively close. And then
fall.
Yeah. Next up was what I call another freakout moment on the stream, where we all went absolutely ballistic because they announced a new Panzer Dragoon game is coming to the Switch this winter.
So
it's a free. Yeah,
I'm gonna be honest. I never played Panzer Dragoon, and I really don't give a shit. So.
I mean, I didn't either, but Panzer Dragoon is a classic. So
Panzer Dragoon, apparently this new one's a remake of the original. It's a remake of the original.
That's what I figured.
And the only reason it's such a big deal is because Panzer Dragoon is one of those games that is very hard to find nowadays because it's on the Saturn. and nobody owns a Saturn. So
well, except Neckbeards, but
yeah, and also Saturn's is also notoriously hard to emulate. So it's also very difficult to play Panzer Dragoon nowadays. So the fact that we're getting a complete remake of Panzer Dragoon, which is a game I have played and I adore, is kind of amazing, actually.
yes. Moving on from that, we got more information about Pokemon Sword and Shield. Of course, we already knew the release date is November 15th, but they announced that it will have Pokeball Plus support, where you can store your Pokemon in them and walk them around to level them up. And also, there's a new waifu, which I guarantee there is porn of now on the internet.
I'm gonna recheck.
Yeah, I guarantee you.
For research purposes.
Yes. Moving on, we got a new trailer for Astral Chain, which is the new game from Platinum, exclusively for the Switch.
I'm hyped. Looks awesome.
A lot of it was based around the chain mechanics with your partner character, because they can help you in combat, but also help with environment traversal, because we see them creating platforms and moving platforms to help the main character move around. Very cool.
Is this just JoJo's Bizarre Adventure?
Yeah, kind of. But it's like...
But you play as police officers.
It's like JoJo's mixed with Psycho-Pass, and it looks awesome.
Yes.
And we already knew the release date. It's coming out August 30th exclusively for the Switch. Moving on, we got a trailer for a game called Empire of Sin, which is a twin-stick shooter coming out sometime in spring 2020. We didn't get much more information about that, but it looked cool. After that, we got a new trailer for Marvel Ultimate Alliance 3, which is coming out July 19th. And the big announcement here was that there is an expansion pass coming fall 2019, which is going to add new characters from a bunch of different franchises. So that's cool. Then we got a new trailer for Crypt of the Necrodancer Cadence of Hyrule, the Zelda crossover standalone, which is coming out on June 13th for the Switch. And Crypt of the Necrodancer is an awesome game. Go fucking play it. Moving on, we got a trailer for Mario and Sonic at the 2020 Tokyo Olympic Games. Cool.
Yeah.
I'll give them credit. Those games are fun when they want to be.
Yeah.
But the big announcement was that there's going to be online multiplayer for events, so you can challenge players online in different sporting events as Vector the Crocodile. Woo.
Also, there's nothing up yet.
Yeah. Okay. Well, we'll give them time. Maybe it was.
I gotta give these artists some time, okay?
Yeah.
The conference.
They're still coming over something that happened after that in the direct, but we'll get into that.
Yes, they are.
Maybe they're not jumping on her as hard as Sonya yet, but give it time. It'll happen.
Yeah, give it time.
But yeah, Mario and Sonic at the Tokyo Olympic Games comes out in November for the Switch, exclusively for the Switch. So that's the thing. And then we finally got a trailer for Animal Crossing, which is being called Animal Crossing New Horizons. The big gimmick here is that this one is set on a deserted island setting where you basically have to terraform the island and create society. It looked fucking dope, and it looked gorgeous on the Switch. There were also some tiny quality of life improvements, such as you can cross rivers without having to go over bridges now, and you can create paths and stuff. Very small stuff, but in Animal Crossing, it makes a world of difference. But they announced that it did get delayed out of 2019, but it is releasing exclusively for the Switch on March 20th. So, Animal Crossing in March. Let's go, boys.
Yeah.
If I get it in March, I might actually stream it, so who knows.
Game. It will be my first Animal Crossing game.
Wow.
Same, actually.
Okay. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Wow.
I've never played Animal Crossing.
You are going to have a blast.
Yeah. Animal Crossing.
You know why?
Yes.
Because I didn't play Animal Crossing. I played Harvest Moon as a kid.
Yeah, that makes sense. Okay.
I had Harvest Moon as a kid.
Yeah. But moving on from Animal Crossing, after that they had their obligatory Nintendo highlight reel where they showed off a bunch of games that they didn't have time to talk about. So, here are all the games that are coming to Switch in the near future. Spyro Reignited Trilogy. The new Hollow Knight spin-off game. Ni no Kuni Remastered. Minecraft Dungeons. Elder Scrolls Blades. My Friend Pedro. Doom Eternal, The Sinking City, Wolfenstein Youngblood, Dead by Daylight, a surprise one, Alien Isolation, is coming to the Switch. Crystal Chronicles Remastered, Dragon Quest Builders 2, Stranger Things 3 the game, Just Dance 2020, Catan, new Super Lucky's Tale, which is like a beefed up version of Super Lucky's Tale that was on the Xbox, Dauntless, and of course Mario Maker 2 at the end of the month. So, obligatory Nintendo highlight. Here's all the games that we don't have time to talk about, but we went fucking crazy for Spyro. So, especially Matt. I heard him scream across the city. So, and then here it comes. Here's the fucking here's where everyone shot their fucking load. We got another Smash trailer, just like we said they would announce 2 characters today, and oh boy did they. So, we got a repeat of the King K. Rool reveal trailer, where they showed the CRT moving into the DK hut, except King K. Rool is with them now. And then out of nowhere, we see this gold puzzle piece bounce across the screen, and I immediately lost my fucking shit. Because guess what, motherfuckers? Banjo's coming to Smash! He's coming home, baby!
He's back!
He's finally back! The Bear and Bird duo are back and are going to be in Smash Bros. This fall. We got a full gameplay trailer showing off his moveset. We got his stage, Spiral Mountain. It all looks fucking incredible. I never want anything from fucking Sakurai ever again. He can finally take a nap because my dreams have been fulfilled. He's coming out.
It has been revealed, by the way, that Grant Kirkhope is returning to do all the music for this game.
Oh, Banjo remixes by Grant Kirkhope! Ah!
Yep.
Okay.
He put the tweet out a little while ago.
I'm losing my shit all over again. I need to calm down. So Banjo will be the 3rd DLC character in the Fighter's Pass. He's coming out fall 2019. Ooh! And last but not least, a very surprise announcement, a very big announcement. We got a trailer for a new Zelda game. It is confirmed that a sequel to Breath of the Wild is now in development. And we originally thought it was a prequel story from when Link was a champion because it looked like that, but it has been confirmed since then that no, this is a direct sequel to Breath of the Wild. It takes place directly afterwards. So that's interesting, and if it's anything like the first game, it's going to win, like, every Game of the Year award. It's going to get 10s across the board. It's going to make fucking gangbusters.
And apparently that monster at the end, that's not Ganon, apparently. That's a new never before seen villain in Zelda. So that's all.
So yeah, we learned a while ago that they were hiring people for a new Zelda project. And now we finally got a reveal. It is a full sequel to Breath of the Wild. So that's happening at some point. It's now in development. Look forward to that in the coming years because it's going to be a while. So yeah, that was the Nintendo Direct. They ended with Zelda. The only thing that was missing was Bayo 3, which where the fuck is this game? I want to see it now.
Yeah,
but
Bayo 3
but the rest of it was so good, I honestly don't even care right now because holy god. Okay, take it away, guys. I need to. I got hype all over again. I need to chill.
So to start with, I've been perusing Twitter, and somebody tweeted a congratulatory message for No More Heroes 3 to Swery. And Swery's like, unfortunately, I'm not Suda51, but I'll pass the message on anyways. Thank you. And I'm like, oh, Swery, I'm sorry, buddy. You didn't make... It's real, okay? Dreams do come true, okay? This E3 has taught me something, and it's if you believe hard enough, and you put your heart and your soul, and you tweet angry messages at those developers, dreams do come true. Panzer Dragoon, a game from the Saturn, is being remade. And that means more people are going to play Panzer Dragoon, which is awesome. No More Heroes 3 is coming out, finally. And it looks like No More Heroes 3. And just Suda51 can just have my entire bank account, if he wants. Pokemon still it looks good. It's Pokemon. I mean,
It looks real good.
It's gonna be fun.
Pokemon knows how to make anime girls, man.
Yeah.
The Secret of Mana types, Tales of Mana. That looks really good.
Trials of Mana.
Trials of Mana. If you haven't played Final Fantasy Adventures or Secret of Mana, do yourself a favor, pick up that collection. We're getting another fucking Contra?
Out of note with a panda?
And like a completely different Contra, because it's a twin-stick shooter, not a side-scroller?
Yeah.
Yeah. It looks cool, though.
Empire of Sin. I actually really liked it, because it kind of, that, like, when it zoomed out of the city and you saw, like, the buildings with, like, pieces on it, it reminds me of This Is the Police, which is a great game.
Yeah, I agree there.
That
and
the lovely host Shane got me into, so thank you, Shane.
You're welcome.
And just Nintendo just comes out every E3, and there's a reason why nobody goes on the same day as Nintendo. There's a reason why Sony and everybody they backload. It's just like, we can't deal with Nintendo. This direct video format fucking works, and it works really well, because you don't have to worry about getting people off the stage and on the stage. You don't have to worry about technical issues. You have everything in front of you, and you just gameplay. Show us what we want to see. And that's what Nintendo does every fucking year. Even with the Wii and the Skyward Sword stuff and the Wii music, at least they've learned and they've grown, and this is just Doug Bowser. Okay, Doug Bowser already won me over.
I already love him.
With that stupid Bowser in a bow tie. Bowser with a tie. And I'm like, okay, Doug, okay, you got me. But just, you know what? Yeah, okay, we didn't get SMT5. We didn't get Bayo 3. We didn't get
I completely forgot about Shin Megami.
Yeah, but you know what we did get? We got Hope, motherfuckers. We got Hope. Koizumi came out here, and then I'm like, yes. And then I heard Bill Trinan, and I'm like, yes. And then all this stuff came out, and I'm like, man, this is why I love video games. Not fucking 4 or 5 jack-offs in the front row fucking cheering too loud. Not people coming out and rubbing their nipples live on stream saying that we have 460k video. Before he left, I'm going to end with this. Before he left, Reggie said a very important comment, very important statement, which he said, if the game isn't fun, why bother? And that's this conference in a nutshell.
I don't even think we have to say anything after that. Thank you, Spencer, for that heart-wrenching speech.
It was that was legitimately from the heart.
Actually, 861k, you prick.
Oh,
get your facts right.
Yeah, I don't think we really have to say anything about this. It was 10 out of 10, perfect.
Yeah, my reactions are in the stream, which you can go find on Shane right here on Bearded Gaming Network. So go and check those out.
And I'm just going to put the image on in gaming, but the dog Pokemon I talked about is called Yamper. And it's a fucking electric type corgi.
Oh, I already love him if he's a corgi.
Yeah, if he's a corgi, he a good boy.
I'm putting it into gaming right now.
But who's the better boy, corgi or huskies?
Oh, don't play with my heart. Okay, so yeah, that was Nintendo. 10 out of 10, perfect. You fucking stole my goddamn heart, you phantom thieves.
Oh God, I love him.
Yeah.
So yeah,
and that's another one called, I think it's called Infidid.
I don't like him that much. I don't like his design now.
So yeah, that was the Nintendo Direct, and with that was the final conference of E3 2019. We've gone on long enough and we're short for time, but very briefly before we go, final thoughts on E3 this year.
Yes.
Mixed bag.
Yeah.
Overall mixed bag, probably because I'm sorry, Sony, you're a bunch of fucking dumbasses.
Yep.
Like, okay, I feel
Sony
like that.
the big dumb.
I actually miss Sony this year. I don't think I realized just how integral Sony is to E3 until after this year. When Nintendo finished, I'm like, man, Sony's an idiot.
Yep.
Sony's dumb. Like, they should have showed at least something. If they didn't have much to show, they could have at least have shown their new, like, they're working on a new console, at least shown then. So, like, shown at least a little bit of what they're working on there. Like, come on. I feel like I feel like they really dropped the ball here. Personally,
I agree.
I feel like next E3, Sony's coming back.
Oh, I'm very excited to see what they have next year. I also think that Microsoft might have a bad year next year because the console reveals are never good, never good. Name the last time they've done a good console reveal.
One X.
Xbox.
No, we're talking brand new next gen.
Okay,
The One
yeah.
X.
I guess.
Yeah, 360 was 360's reveal was messy. The Xbox One was really messy.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so, but overall this year, pretty mixed.
Yeah, I can agree.
I would say, yeah, that this year was the epitome of, like, a fucking rainbow. Where it's like, there were so many things that's like, man, the people who made these video games care about you as a consumer, and they care about video games. And then Bethesda happened, and you're just like, you are soulless.
I want to shoot myself for being a gamer.
Honestly, Bethesda, at this point in time, as a company, I can describe as being soulless. They just, as not talking about Crystal Dynamics or Eidos or id. I'm talking Bethesda as Bethesda. Their conference, and when they got up as Bethesda, it felt like they were there as a husk, and they were just reading off of the teleprompter, and they were just smiling internally because they knew they were going to get money from people.
Mm-hmm.
But then you saw Ubisoft, and yeah, Ubisoft isn't always great, but you know what Ubisoft does? Actually cares about video games.
Yeah.
And E3 is a trade show. Yes, we have to admit that, okay? It is a business show. It's meant to drum up business for shareholders and stuff like that. However, I've noticed that ever since it's become open to the public, specifically the conference, not the conference, specifically the venue itself, the companies have been shying away from being in a suit all the time and talking about business and pointing at charts and schematics. So seeing that is a good change, but when you have something like Bethesda, which was basically EA of this year, okay?
Yeah.
It was
I can agree with
soulless
that.
corporate, just swill. And to have that, and then to have Nintendo, and even Microsoft, for as much as they go, business console, business specs, they still show some good stuff. So mixed bag, I would honest to God say, compared to last year, the reveals and hype and overall feeling was a lot more consumer friendly, so I appreciated it more than last year.
Josh, any thoughts?
E3 this year was a lot better than a lot of previous years. Mostly because a lot of game companies have actually been putting their heart into things now.
Mm-hmm.
They actually care about what the consumers want. And you can see this especially with Microsoft, Nintendo, Ubisoft, and Square. Just doing what they actually want to do and making the people happy. And all around, this is a really good E3 year. I'm really happy with it.
I have to agree with Matt and Spencer. I feel like this year was very mixed. Like, you have... And when I say mixed, I literally mean it's 50-50. Like, you have Bethesda and Ubisoft over here, who, while Ubisoft was good and very solid, wasn't great, and Bethesda was kind of shit. And then over here, you have the Dark Horse Square. You got Microsoft pulling that out of the bag again. You got Nintendo fucking blowing everyone out of the water. Like, there was either exceptional or mediocre, and there was no real in-between. And especially compared to last year, I agree with what Spencer said. Like, there weren't a whole Sure, the reveals were a lot more consumer friendly, but I feel like this year there wasn't a lot of those really big newsworthy reveals like last year. Like,
Yeah.
I still think back, and this is my bias, I'm sorry, but I still think back to the DMC5 reveal and how fucking groundbreaking that was. Just out of nowhere, hey, here it is, and it looked fucking dope. And honestly, I know it's my bias talking, but I feel like we didn't see as many reveals that were on that same level of hype. And that definitely made this year feel a little lacking in places. But overall, it was still a good year, even a great year in some aspects, especially with things like Microsoft and Nintendo. But I think that next year they'll have to step up their game just a little bit more.
I will say that, yeah, this year was commanded by the small titles, the indie darlings of this year. There wasn't that many like DMC5 type games that are just like for DMC. Like there was Doom.
Yes.
That's honestly like that's the only like super. There's Doom and Halo. That's it. Doom, Halo, and Gears were like the three like super titles that got announced. Everything else was like either like in like a niche market or an indie darling.
I'm just gonna say, so Legend of Zelda isn't a big title.
Legend of Zelda isn't coming out in the near future.
Though, and you're talking
The
about
sequel isn't coming out in the near future, though. Like,
I'm just saying, though, it's an announcement, and like it's a big announcement.
He's got you there,
I'm here
Spence.
to-
he
I'm here
does,
to
but I'm
play
also
that.
like, but it was also like 30 seconds, and it's like,
That's also true.
cool.
Cool.
But yeah, this year was a solid year. Not the best, not the worst. There was some really great stuff, some really bad stuff. Hopefully next year will be a bit more consistent. But overall, good year all around. And Nintendo and Microsoft blew it out of the water. And Square came out of nowhere and was like, hey, we can hang with the big boys now. We actually had a conference. So that was very nice to see. Bethesda, you can suck my fucking ass. But I'll still buy Doom, even though you didn't make it.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Though it's it, not you.
Yeah. But that's about it. That was E3 2019 in a nutshell. Thank you for watching this very long podcast. Not as long as previous years, though, which is very nice.
Nope.
Yep.
So yeah, that was E3 2019. We went through all the conferences and all the announcements. And with that said, we're going to wrap things up. So thank you very much for watching this special live edition of Bearded Banter covering E3 2019. If you like what you've seen and you want to see more, you can go ahead and subscribe to Bearded Gaming Network on YouTube, where we post a bunch of great gaming videos, including Let's Plays, unboxings, podcasts, live streams, edited content, etc. Making some really great videos lately, so please watch them. Go ahead and subscribe. And what do we do, Spencer?
Click that bell.
Click the bell to get notifications on when we upload, because YouTube doesn't do it anyway. I have been your host, Shane the Bearded One. I have been joined by my lovely co-hosts, Matt, Spencer, and Josh. Say goodbye, boys.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
I still want Tifa to step on it.
Okay. Same. With that said, we're going to wrap things up here. So thanks for watching this year's Bearded Banter E3 special, and we'll see you again next year for E3 2020. Keep on gaming, everyone.